struggling today.
Why? What happened to you? What's the matter, JC?
It's kids.
Talk to me.
It's kids. It's family. No one
What?
accepting responsibility for anything. Do you have this happen? And I don't know why, like, I can't let it go, but it's a bee that's just running around in my head right now. When something breaks and no one knows what happened, like a ghost came in and broke it, there's something about it. So I took out my bike this last week for the first time because the weather's starting to turn a little bit. Pedal, not vroom vroom. And so I got it set up, right, ready to go. I rode this weekend for the first time. And so today I went out to ride, and I have my lesbian gym teacher's glasses that I wear when I ride, and occasionally when I sub in for some 7th grade parachute time. So I have those. It's the only time I wear them. The only time, my Oakleys, that I wear them. Unless I'm going to go hang out with Jordan Schultz, because I think those are the ones he wears on a daily basis. They just sit they were sitting on my desk. The Isaac Rapa desk, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still using that, I see?
Still using it. That thing's never going away. I mean, I feel the strength of one Isaac E. Ropp every time I sit down.
It's so heavy that you don't want to get rid of it.
Oh, it's not going anywhere. Yeah. That thing is...
It's hard to move.
That thing's enormous.
It's big.
So, for the last 3 days...
Bigly.
Those Oakleys sitting on my desk.
Okay.
Today, I go to ride to the gym, and I get my little helmet. I got my little butt pad that I put on.
Such a soy boy.
Yeah, I'm soy boy. I got my little glovies because it's a little chilly. I'm ready to go. And I go to pick up my glasses. One entire, what do you, the earpiece? What are the sides? What do you call that? The frame? What is that?
Yeah,
like the stems?
I just realized I don't know what that. I don't know what that's called.
Yeah.
The stem?
Maybe?
Yeah.
It was more of a guess than an assertion.
How about the sides, the white walls? I don't know. The earpiece, the long skinny part.
I don't know. I don't know.
Does anyone know what that is? I just realized after 45 years on the planet, I don't know what that part of a pair of sunglasses is. So
temples.
Maybe the temples.
I think it's the temples.
The temples.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it goes along your temple.
Yeah. So I go to pick up my sunglasses, and I notice something about the temple. Guess what? It's gone. Not broken. It's gone. Removed.
What?
It's gone. There's just one. It's just one. There's one there, and then I'm like, okay. So immediately I do hey everybody, what the hell? And of course, a lot of this. I don't know.
Who's everybody?
Well, the two kids. So
you've got two back in the house now?
I got two back in the house now. I got two back in the house.
I thought you only had one.
And then, of course, the special lady friend, the BTJ. And so I'm like, anybody at all have any idea what happened? And they gave me at least one. I don't know. And then they did the half-hearted, well, let me look around and see. Maybe it just popped off somewhere. Nope, don't know where they're at. And then collectively, everyone just throws up their hands like, well, that's a mystery. Someone knows what happened.
No, wait.
It drives me insane.
Could it... Wait, you're saying... Okay, so what? So a temple was just missing?
Gone. Snapped off, gone.
Odds that it was you.
0. How would it... I rode on Saturday.
You set it down too hard.
I rode on Saturday, came back in the house, took said gym teacher glasses off, set them on my desk where they were still sitting today when I went to pick them back up. So unless in my sleep I came down with a hammer and not only smashed the temple off, but then got rid of the temple, right? Just the temple has vanished. I did not do that. Did my dog climb up onto the desk and only eat the temple off and then put them gently back exactly where they were before?
Here's another theory, working theory.
Mm-hmm.
The investigation here.
Yeah.
Is it possible? Because you can put those back on. Like if you find it, you can.
I don't know.
You can.
Can you?
I mean, some glasses you can. Yeah, some glasses it would. Sometimes it breaks off, and sometimes it just comes off and can be can put back on there. There's like a little screw in there.
Yeah.
Maybe they're playing a joke on you.
If they are, kudos to them. Although I think they could tell that the old man was not thrilled. I think it was one of those, if that's a ha-ha sort of thing, the mood changed real quick. So I didn't make any sort of accusatory, because what does that do?
You're just going to wait till the show to do that.
Well, yeah. Well, the kids at this point are smart enough that they've all learned just shut up and no one gets blamed. It's like when someone ran into my garage door. They're like, oh, it wasn't me. Someone literally years ago ran into the garage door, bent it, and then collectively all three of them, oh.
Well, okay. I would like
At least
to
they don't snitch on each other.
Yeah, they don't snitch. But that...
I mean, I don't blame you for being miffed, but if there's one thing your kids have learned, it's don't rat the other one out.
And while I do appreciate that...
Do we have cameras?
In my living room?
Yeah.
No.
I do.
You have cameras in your living room?
Yeah, dude.
No. That's weird. The only one that would get caught doing something they shouldn't be doing is probably me. I don't want cameras on me. Who knows what I'm up to? You know what I'm not doing, though? Breaking the temple of my sunglasses. That's what I'm not doing.
I would like to state that while I don't know what occurred with your shades...
Nor do I.
I would like to state that it is a greater than 0% chance that you broke them.
Okay, I understand that I'm logically be like, oh, Sook's an idiot. Explain to me.
No, I'm not saying that.
Explain to me.
Maybe when you took your helmet off, you didn't see it. It could have happened. Look, all I'm saying is it's more that chance is north of 0.
Okay. But if he is confident that he put them at that resting place, basically with intact, essentially, how would it have been him that did anything?
I'm fascinated that
because he didn't see it.
But he set them down and they were fine.
Look, I'm just saying it's north of 0. All right, it can't be 0. You can't say there's
0.1
no.
maybe?
Yeah, maybe 1%, maybe 2%.
People are like, is it possible you broke them and didn't notice when you set it down? Where's the earpiece then?
The whole piece is
literally.
No, that's not the earpiece.
Literally, I took them off of my face.
The temple.
And set them down when I came in. So you're saying that
we're working through this with you here.
Don't
get mad at us.
The idea, sorry, you can see that this is just...
Hold on, everybody.
The idea that I took them off myself and then somehow Brutus Barber Beefcake just sliced one ear off.
Are you kidding me?
Just in some sort of random rage. And then, by the way, like threw it to where no one could see it and then gently put my expensive sunglasses down on my desk. And then was like, oh. 2 days later, I was like, hey, what's this? Yeah, that didn't happen. But I will, you know what's going to happen? Nothing. No one will own up to it. Nothing will happen. I'll pay for a new pair. And on my deathbed, for one last, my kid is just going to lean in and be like, hey, I hit the garage door and I broke your glasses. And I'm not certain if I'm going to be thrilled or if it'll be my final thing that just pushes me over the edge.
2 things. One, do you think that your kids are taking after you by not owning up to any of this stuff?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
At least you admit that part.
Look, I'm well aware that when something happened in my house growing up, the first thing we all did wasn't me. Look,
they learned it by watching you.
And I do appreciate the fact that they're just shutting up. And they've realized over the years, there was a situation years ago where something happened in the house like this, and I kept everyone on the couch till like 11:30 midnight. Like took each one of them into the room one by one. I was determined to not let these little rats beat me. Someone was going to own up to what happened. I didn't break anyone. It was like, and then eventually you're like, well, they're just going to bed. And they learned. They've learned that if they just shut up, no one can really be punished. I'm not going to punish everybody. And so they just all stick together. And while I appreciate it, it drives me insane.
Second thing is, would you tell us if you found the temple like on the garage floor or something?
Sure, absolutely. Yes. If this is me, which I'm not certain how it could be, I will 100% own up to this. But again, not certain how. Actually, it wasn't even Saturday. It was Sunday. Not sure how between Sunday when I took them off, fully intact. And by the way, you do fold the temples when you put them away and set them down on the desk. Not certain what happened between Sunday afternoon and Tuesday morning where those have gone kaput and are still sitting right on my desk.
We've got a text here. Somebody has texted our show. It is the Vancouver Ford text line, and it can be reached at 503-864-6326. My kids were probably half the age of yours, but I downloaded a lie detector app.
Oh, this is great.
And the guilty party fessed up as soon as I put the phone on the back of his hand. I could see him panicking when it was his turn, so I knew. There was no app. I just took a screenshot of an image that said lie detector app. That is great.
It's amazing. Oh,
snuffed it out.
When my oldest daughter was little, like real little, when she was like 4, my late wife would tell her that when she lied, a blue dot would appear on her forehead. And she was adorable. She's like 3 or 4 years old. So when she would tell a lie, she would put her hand and she would cover her forehead.
Nice. Nice.
It was
what an idiot.
Yeah. And then when
my son is an idiot.
By the time she was 5. And by the way, this whole thing could have led to someone being murdered today, because I rode my bike to go look at another bike. I'm trying to buy like a gravel bike, a different kind of bike than the one I have, right? I have a road bike, trying to buy a gravel bike. It's like a hybrid thing. And I rode out today to look at it. And when you list something and you ask questions about it and you're like, hey, this is, and someone tells you, nope, this is what it is, blah, blah, blah. You ask very specific questions and everything they say is a total lie. And then you show up. That too, like that happened today after the glasses thing. It took every bit of my control to not pick up my bike and beat that man with it. I literally just had to just turn around and run.
So what
away.
was he saying?
What?
So
what happened?
This weekend,
there's a whole other story.
There's a whole other story. Like I said,
God.
it all just kind of roped in together today. It was a hell of a morning for me. So I was looking at this bike. It was like I ride a Specialized bike. That's the brand. And there's like a sub brand of it, and then it's called like the Divergent, and there's like 50 models. And the basic one is not the one I'm looking for. It's the most basic one. And
you're not a basic bitch.
Well, no. So I asked the guy, I was like, because he just listed it as a Specialized Divergent. And I was like, hey, can you tell me, which model this is? And he was like, oh, it's the Carbon Comp. And I was like, perfect. Like, that's the one. Carbon frame, all this stuff. And I was like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And I said, you sure that's what it is? Because a couple of these that I've gone and looked at, someone have said that, and it turns out it's the base model, like the E5. And the guy's like, no, this is it. So I ride my bike out there. It's like a 15-mile ride. So I pedal out there. Sure enough, I get out there and he wheels it out there. I swear to God, the very first thing I look at, right at the bottom of it, it says right there, E5, like the most basic model. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And he's like,
Oh, no.
He goes, no, I bought this at the bike store just like 2 years ago. And I'm like, no, you didn't. And he's like, no. And he's trying to tell me how it's like the more expensive one. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I just want to take, after the glasses thing, and then this man.
Now, were you wearing your broken glasses?
No, I was glassesless.
Oh, wow. He could see your eyes.
Yeah. You could see the anger and
The
frustration. And the best part, he, much like my kids, just kept doubling down in telling me that it was the really expensive Carbon.
This is what people do now.
Like, what are we doing?
It's like Kim Mulkey.
Well, I just was like, I sat there and I looked at the guy and I'm like, what? No. No one would fall for this. And he just insisted that he bought it from like the River City bike, like the reputable, like the big bike store in Portland. He's like, no. Thing cost me like $4,500 when I bought it. I said, you can buy that bike right now, brand new, for like $900. No, this was for $4,500. And like,
I was trying to rip you off.
He just kept.
What was his name? Let's shame him.
I can look it up on OfferUp. He was
OfferUp.
OfferUp.
Yeah, that app is shady.
He was trying to sell a bike for double, a used bike for double what you could go buy it for in the store.
Yeah, but for every 10 people that come by that recognize it, there's going to be one that doesn't, and he's going to get double the money.
Whew. It's been a day, man. It's been a day. Bike drama at the Sucanic household.
Big time drama.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you get for riding a bike.
Yeah, I know.
Who does that?
I need to reconsider this whole thing.
I think you should.
It's what I get.
And by the way,
yeah,
it was Iserman.
I think so.
Just trust me.
He did look. He did do the.
Oh.
Because I went.
Seemed overly concerned.
Well, was like one of those that like they could tell I was really upset. So when I came back, I started shuffling stuff around and looking, and they dropped we looked around there. We didn't see it.
Yeah, I bet it was him.
Did they destroy the evidence, you think?
Yeah, where is the...
Like, do they, now that they know we looked around there, is that code for we threw it away?
You know what I'm scared of? And I didn't think about it until you said it. You know what they're going to do. If they're smart, they're going to go like hide it in the garage or something. That's what, like, if they're...
Well, I think you should check the trash first.
If they're really clever, I have a sinking feeling. Like, I have like a hook in my garage up high where I hang my bike when I'm done, you know?
Yeah. They're just going to set it down there.
They're going to set it down there.
Oh, look, Dad.
Oh,
Look what happened.
hey, Dad. And
Looks
then I'm
like maybe they snapped right when you took off your helmet. And you didn't notice, huh, Dad?
But then I'm going to do but I took my glasses off inside. No, you must have.
You must have just been out here, here where this temple is. Right here, I found it.
That's my theory, is that thing is going to magically show up directly underneath the bike rack in my garage.
Interesting. Well.
That's my morning.
Yeah, well, maybe you should leave them.
Can I go back and beat Steven? Because I'd like to.
I don't think we need to be fighting over a bicycle.
No.
That's probably not a good...
The doubling, we just talked about this the other day, the doubling down on something that is 100% a lie.
That's what people do now.
Boy, it's fascinating.
Yeah. It's not really fascinating. It's sad. But it's reality.
And afterwards, like, hey, man, I'll get you a good deal on it.
My God, look at Jerry. Have you seen Jerry Jones lately?
Well...
Walking Dead?
I like the last 4 or 5 years, he's turned into a zombie.
But lately, have you seen... Look at him. Look.
Yeah. Well, he's
What is going on?
Well, he's turning into Al Davis.
Did you see he is turning into... Did you see the picture of him sitting down, I think at the meetings, the owners' meetings, you know? Mm-hmm. And he's got his notebook in front of him?
Yeah.
Did you see that? And his gut hanging out?
I don't know if I don't know if that necessarily stuck out in my mind.
Google Jerry Jones notebook.
Jerry Jones.
Or put it into Twitter and search it.
Okay.
And look at that photo and then zoom in on his notebook.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't... Did
you see what's on his notebook?
Yeah, hold on.
Describe what is written on his notes.
I'm pulling it up so I can get a better look here. Boy, I just wasn't prepared for that. Yeah, that is... I'm looking here.
What's written there? Read that to us.
It just looks like a bunch of scribbles on an NFL pad.
Like a 3-year-old?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, you can't read that.
That's pretty much what it is.
It literally
looks... It's not writing.
It's not writing. It's just scribbles. You're right, though. He's looking a little paunchy.
Dude, he looks terrible.
Well, maybe my theory on, when you're a celebrity and then you get older, you turn into a middle-aged lesbian. Maybe when you're a billionaire sports owner, you just turn into Al Davis. Because he's going down the road of Al Davis.
Crypt keeper.
Yeah. Well, his face is starting to melt, right? And he's getting like look at his haircut. Like he's doing the weird haircut now. And like the skin's like pulled so tight, it's starting to disintegrate.
Yeah.
And then he's getting fat. If he starts wearing like Gloria Vanderbilt tracksuits, now we're on to something.
Yeah, he's really only a tracksuit away.
That's it. He's a tracksuit away, and then whatever
that haircut's looking,
and some of like those glasses with like the little chain on them. He's there. Give him another 3-4 years if he's alive. He'll be there.
All right, there is opening Seggy, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about your glasses. That sucks. How much are they?
$180, something like that.
These nice glasses.
Yeah, they were.
I'm a big sunglasses guy.
Yeah,
I like. Yeah. I like nice sunglasses.
Well, and those are I only use them for that one thing.
It's an important thing.
I wouldn't dare wear those out to any other activity.
Why not golf or something? A lot of the bros are wearing those out.
The answer to that question is no.
Golfing.
No. Those are for one activity only.
Well, not anymore.
No.
Golf.
What if I could just like how ghetto could I be if I just fashioned a new earpiece out of something else? Duct taped a twig to the other side. Piece of plastic.
You probably could.
I probably could. Hey, lenses still work just fine.
All right, let's get to today's poll question. That's French, if you didn't know. French now.
Mm-hmm. Oui.
It pertains to the NFL. They've changed the rule regarding the kickoff.
Yeah, it's the biggest change in the NFL in years.
Yeah, we're going to see what you think about it. We'll talk about it. Coming up next on The Fan.
The home of dirt and
digging on the Jonte Porter bets, the prop bet stuff we were talking about from yesterday.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting.
Did you find some figures?
Yes, we have the figures.
I saw one of those things as well.
By the way, we're 1 day away, boys, from officially cashing in.
The official cash.
The official cash comes tomorrow.
Yeah. If it doesn't come tomorrow, it'll come the next day.
That's right. We're just our magic number, Ryan
We're in
Buckley.
good shape.
The magic number, 1. That's all we need.
And I would like to
One
point out
loss.
that if you don't know what Big Sook is talking about, it's that he bet against your hometown team.
We.
He and Ryan, yeah.
We're going
Not
to go to
me,
that
though.
lake.
Well, and it's a sizable bet. It is by far the largest bet that I've placed in 2 years.
I'm going to go to that lake.
And really the only reason why is because last year I made a sizable bet, my largest of the year, on the Blazers over. And then they tanked on purpose at the end. Therefore, I was forced to double down on this year's tank.
You were forced.
I had no choice.
You had no choice.
No choice.
That's right.
Yeah, I didn't do any of that last year, but I also was forced.
I appreciate you going on this journey with me, Buckley.
I'm often forced to bet on things. My wife doesn't understand that.
Nothing is over.
Why doesn't she understand that?
I know, you don't want to.
Look,
you
babe,
have
I was
to.
forced.
Exactly.
It looked like such a good bet. How could I not? I can't afford not to bet it.
Exactly.
So here's those things are all coming. Oh, and our drop bracket. We didn't get to this yesterday. The first round is complete.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And you just
I'll just be over
don't
here.
worry about
God
it.
dang, what do you think?
God dang. Well, we have to announce the final first round winners and then set up the
Round
next
2, right?
round. Yeah, the sexy 16
Mhm.
bracket, and we'll do that coming up here today on our show. But first, the poll question. It is on X at 1080 The Fan. It is brought to you by AAA Heating and Cooling, a family business helping families for over 60 years. AAAIAQ.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, we asked you which Sweet 16 game is the most alluring. Purdue and Gonzaga won that by a lot.
Yeah.
50%.
Go Zogs.
27% said Duke Houston. 12% Creighton Tennessee. And only 11% said the rematch of UConn and San Diego State.
Yeah, no one seems to give a damn about that. Is
No.
UConn the most boring, dominant
Yes.
team? Like,
Yes.
they're just like, what?
Well, name one player on their team.
I don't know. And they got a couple guys supposedly that are first round picks, but they're just all anonymous dudes.
Yeah, they're really boring. I don't like them. And I don't like their coach. I think he's an ass and a weirdo. Do you want to hear some weird Dan Hurley audio?
Yeah, what do we got?
Well, it's not him. It's a story they did on him.
About him?
Yeah, did you see this?
Yes.
About his underwear?
About his underwear?
Yeah.
No.
Well, he's a grade A weirdo.
Well, of course he is. He's a Hurley. They're like the basketball version of the Harbaughs. Nothing you're going to tell
That's a
me.
good call.
Nothing you're going to tell me about him is going to surprise me.
Okay, so it's only like 45 seconds.
Okay.
Dan Hurley is the king of superstition, especially on game day. He has to have 8 M&Ms before every game. He has to have a cup of bulletproof coffee on the sidelines at all times, and do not knock it over. And he has to wear the same suit and socks and shoes, and yes, the same Red Dragon underwear. And don't worry, it is clean. His wife, Andrea, travels with a portable washing machine. I mean, you can't make that up, Ian.
And apparently they travel a Maytag repairman with them as part of the crew. No, they do not. Who has a portable washing machine? I didn't even know that existed.
A nice little floater by Martinelli. There's a man whose wife loves him. I thought Bobby Hurley was high maintenance. He's the only coach I don't like to interview before the game.
Yeah, this
for
is
obvious reasons.
This is the living version of Silver Linings Playbook for the UConn Huskies.
How about that?
Boy, was anyone besides me thrown off by the Red Dragon underwear?
Yeah.
Like,
it kind of gets lost in the
Yeah,
shuffle there.
what is that all about?
But what is that?
So-
what is that all about?
I'm not kidding. Google Red Dragon underwear, and the second thing that pops up is a pair of underwear with how would you describe what's happened there on the front of the men's dual ball
it's
pouch?
Red Dragon.
No. That's the first one. That's from 2 Under men's swing shift boxer brief. That's Year of the Dragon. But the next one that pops up is it's got a pocket for your penis. Literally that just like hangs down.
Oh.
What if that's what he meant and Tracy had no idea?
Is he
Well, they showed him.
Is Hurley just packing serious heat and he's got no choice? What's Red Dragon underwear?
Yeah, I don't know. They
They did show it.
They showed it.
It looks like red silk underwear with like
Yeah.
like cartoon dragons on
Yeah,
them.
look like boxers with exactly. That's exactly what they look like.
Okay.
And he's got a
Although
portable
that's what
washing
they want you
machine.
to think.
I guess.
So I can't root for him. Who would root for that?
By the way, that Stephen Castle is the guy that's supposed to be a top 8 pick. Their point guard, shooting guard.
I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. As a matter of fact, I've just decided that I hate them.
I like it. All right. Well, why
and
not?
I'm rooting for San Diego State.
Well, it's not going to work, but I appreciate.
might.
I appreciate you hating them.
Look, they aren't going to win it again, are they?
Boy, everyone said, all the experts said going in that as dominant as UConn was last year, and they beat everyone by double digits, they said this UConn team is way better. And it's not like there's a bunch of other teams out there that particularly look great right now.
Well, I think there are some good teams out there. I mean, look, I get it. UConn's a favorite, but it's hard to go back to back. Who's the last team that went back to back?
Florida, probably, right?
Florida.
The Billy Donovan Florida team?
Sounds right, 07, 08, something like that.
Yeah. 06, 07.
I know they beat Odin, the one-armed Odin or the one-handed Odin. And
Well,
then,
yeah,
I don't know who they
the
beat
Ducks
the other
lost to one of those Florida teams in their Elite Eight run with Tawan Porter and all
But
that.
that was like before NIL and all that, I'm sure those guys all get paid. But all those dudes came back for another run. Like Green and Noah and who's it? Corey Brewer. I forget who the other two were, but like all 5 of those guys, like they all came back. Were like, no, we're gonna do this again.
So it was Joakim Noah.
It was
Corey Brewer.
Torian
Green. There was another guy.
Al Horford?
Yes, Horford.
Horford.
Yeah. And now you see why they won back-to-back titles.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty nasty.
And Billy Donovan was a pretty good coach.
Duke did it in the 90s.
Yeah, the Dukies did it. And not many. I mean,
Kentucky almost won 3 in a row, but the one in the middle they lost.
was that like the Ron Mercer, like that kind of group?
Pitino. Yeah, they won in 90. I think it was 96. Lost in 97, and because they lost to Arizona. Remember that Arizona team? With Mike Bibby.
Yeah, I think Tony Delk was on that because I was in college. I remember watching that.
They lost in the final, so they won in 96, lost in the final to Arizona in 97, and then won again in 98.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it doesn't happen.
Crazy.
It doesn't happen very often.
So, anyway,
yeah, you're right. There's only been in the history Oklahoma State, Kentucky, San Francisco, Cincinnati, UCLA multiple times, Duke, Florida. That's it. It's the only teams in the history of the NCAA tournament.
So I'll give you. Well, I'll lay out a bet right now. Does UConn? You can take UConn winning another one, or the field.
I'll take the field.
Yeah, me too.
Anytime you give me one team versus the field,
well, there's only 15 other teams.
I don't care. I will always take the field.
Yeah, I'll take the field too.
Yeah,
I don't think they win it.
But it's kind of crazy because I don't consider UCLA modern basketball. So since the tournament expanded,
twice,
Duke and Florida. Although you mentioned Kentucky came damn close.
Today's poll question, that was yesterday. Okay, forget that.
We've moved on.
Today's poll question on X at 1080 The Fan. The NFL has adopted new kickoff rules. What say you? Love it, hate it, or I'll wait and see.
I hate to do it, but it's a wait and see thing. I find it very strange and kind of convoluted, and it would have helped if I had watched any of the XFL, but I refuse.
Well, you can see clips of it.
No, I won't, because that means I'm watching the XFL.
I went and watched clips
I
of
won't
it.
do it.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I went and watched clips of it, and I'll say this: we're going to break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to explain it. But that's the poll question. Vote hard. Brought to you by AAA Heating and Cooling. I love it, but I will say that watching it is weird. It is drastically different.
Yeah, it's going to be bizarre.
I think it's a really good idea of how to do it. So we'll get to that next. Here's Buck.
Now.
Yeah, I was looking back at that Florida team that won back-to-back titles.
Yeah.
The fifth guy, so they had 5 guys, all starters, averaged double digits.
And we got 4 of them.
Yeah, the fifth guy was a guy by the name of Lee Humphrey.
Don't remember Lee Humphrey at all, which is
he's like of the Fab Five, he's like the Jimmy King.
Was he the shooter? Did he shoot? Was he a shooter?
He was a guard.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would assume so because Brewer played the wing. You had Horford and Noah, and then Green was the point guard. So yeah, the Jimmy King. Well, there was another one that I think was more anonymous than Jimmy King on the Fab Five.
Was there? I thought Jimmy King was like the.
No, I think Jimmy. See,
one
I know
nobody
Jimmy.
remembers.
I know Jimmy King.
Well, who are the Fab Five?
Because it's Rose Weber, Howard, King, and then who's the
Yeah,
fifth?
the Jimmy King is not the anonymous. Jimmy
Who's
King.
the fifth, then?
Jimmy King is the Torian.
Well,
Green.
tell me who the fifth one is.
I don't know. That's the point.
Damn
Ray,
it!
It's Ray something, right? Ray, is it?
Ray Guy.
Ray,
And it's not Ray Guy.
Guy.
Noted Hall of Famer.
Boy, he
Ray
is
Guy.
so good. Ray Jackson. There's
There
your
you go.
Ah,
There's your who the hell is Ray Jackson?
So Lee,
Jimmy
whatever his name, is Ray, whatever his name.
Lee Humphrey.
The best part about Jimmy King is he's the one on that Duke 30 for 30 when they're talking about Christian Laettner and they're asking to describe him, and Jimmy King goes, bitch, with a little grin on his face, how to describe Christian Laettner, which is fantastic.
Whatever happened to Ray Jackson?
Oh, I bet you he played over in Europe somewhere.
And then did Jimmy King play in the NBA?
I think Jimmy had a brief career in the NBA.
This says Jackson lives in Austin where he runs a moving company.
Yeah, he was undrafted, and he played for the Grand Rapid Mackers.
Who are we talking about here? Jackson or King?
That's Jackson.
It looks like he had 3 stints in Grand Rapids, but he also played in Strasbourg and Sanitaridas.
He just never. He made a bunch of money in college.
And
Don't worry.
Caracas.
Whereas Jimmy King played for the Toronto Raptors, for the Denver Nuggets, a bunch of G League teams. Just cup of coffee here and there. It's like his basketball career is a lot like my NFL career. Just like you were there, but you didn't do much.
So Florida in that first one, you were mentioning you didn't know who they beat Greg Oden in Ohio State in the second one.
Remember that one?
The first one they beat UCLA in the final.
Was that?
Aaron Aflalo, Jordan Farmar, and Luke Mbamute.
Huh. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
I do remember the Ohio State one. We were at the Wooden Chicken.
Yeah, I remember that too.
With Papa Shot.
Yeah.
And we were all watching Oden because obviously the Blazers. And
I was looking at that team. That was Oden and Conley. We know that.
Yes.
Outside of that, that team didn't have much.
Wasn't that most, though? No
Well,
offense.
not Florida.
No. But most NBA champion or most NCAA championship teams,
They have Daquan Cook, too. He was decent.
Daquan Cook?
I thought they did. I thought that Ohio State team did.
Go back and look at that Syracuse team that won with Melo. Was there anyone?
Yeah, Daquan Cook played 9 minutes in that game.
Or the UConn team with Kemba Walker. There's usually one guy, and then it's here's some spare parts.
The NFL has changed its kickoff rules, guys. They officially voted it in today. Now it's only a 1 year. They're doing a 1-season trial.
The trial. This is like when they did the pass interference thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, I got a theory on how this is going to go, but
What do you mean?
Well, we're all talking about how this is going to be radically different, right? And teams are going to have to make all these sorts of adjustments and this and that. And it's going to bring a lot of excitement back. So the old touchback rule, they changed that. You don't get it at 20, you get it at the 25.
Yeah.
Right? The touchback rule for this one is the 30.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, if I'm a special teams coach, I listen to a lot of NFL radio, and I've been listening to all these NFL guys talk about how challenging this is going to be for kick teams to not give up big plays, and it's going to take a while, and there's going to be a learning curve. Thought here. The first time I give up a big play in a game, I'm going to my kicker and being like, remember how you used to put that thing 12 yards deep out of the back of the end zone? Do that again. And you get the ball at the 30 as opposed to the 25.
Well, wait.
That 5 yards a real killer.
I don't think that's how it works, though.
It is how it works.
I don't think it is. I think they're saying that
I 100% know that's how it works.
If you don't kick it in... Well, okay, let me just read this to you then. And we'll see if I'm...
You've got it skewed because there is a situation where you get it at the 40. But that's only...
That's if it hits...
If it hits before...
Short of the 20.
Or goes out of bounds.
Yeah. So let's just read through this. It's a
little convoluted.
I'm gay.
Whoa, where did that? What?
Huh?
Buckley.
Oh.
The kicking team. Okay, so if you haven't seen this, you got to watch XFL videos to.
And I'm sorry you have to do that. And I did watch one of those on Twitter, and now I feel dirty, like I need a shower.
Well, I think you got to hand it to the NFL for actually
trying,
not being too good to adopt something that the XFL did.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of leagues would thumb their nose at like, oh, you don't get to dictate what we do. But hey, give them credit. They saw something that they think will work, and they're going to try it. So I think in that sense, the NFL is typically really ahead of the curve in terms of rules changes. And I mean, because come on, the kickoff is a joke.
Yes.
At this point.
Yeah.
What's the touchback rate? Like
91% or something. It's a forgotten play.
Well, the return rate in the XFL with this rule is 91.7. They said.
Yeah, you return it.
So the NFL wants their goal is to get it to an 80% where kickoffs are returned.
Yes.
So the kicking team kicks off from its own 35-yard line.
Nothing changes.
10 members of the kicking team will line up on the receiving team's 40-yard line.
Yes.
Okay, so the kicker is very much separated now from his guys.
Yeah.
So the kicker's way back there, and then the his 10 kicking team bros
on the receiving team's 40-yard line.
Correct. So they're lined up just opposite of they're 10 yards from the receiving team's guys.
Well, within 5. So
is it within 5?
Well, they have to be on the 40-yard line. They have to be on the kick returning team's 40-yard line.
Yes.
Stationary. They have to line up there.
They have to line up and they cannot move. Now, the returning team...
Oh, they can shuffle.
They
between
can line
35?
up between the 30 and 35.
Kind of like the defense can before a snap, and then they have a 5-yard buffer zone that would be their neutral zone, essentially.
So you're within somewhere between 5 and 10 yards, although, again, most of the people are saying that in the XFL, they all line up roughly about 5 to 6 yards apart.
So the receiving team can have 0, 1, or 2 players inside their own 30 to take the kickoff. Okay?
Yes.
The play begins when the ball is either caught, hits the ground in the landing zone. Now, the landing zone is key. The landing zone is the red zone. Yeah. It's the goal line to the 20. So if the play begins when the ball is either caught, hits the ground in the landing zone, or is returned from the end zone, that's when players can begin moving. Any kick that hits the landing zone must be returned.
Yes.
Any kick that bounces from the landing zone into the end zone must be returned or kneeled for a touchback, with possession going out to only the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
If a kick does not reach the landing zone, the receiving team gets possession at its 40-yard line. So the incentive here is the kicker must kick it into the landing zone.
Yes.
Because you don't want to give them the ball at the 40.
The only exception to this, and this is where I said I think is a little bit of a loophole, and where people are like, oh my God, what if, this is just a disaster and people keep returning, these big kicks. You can just kick it out of the end zone. You can just kick it like you do now, and the team gets it at the 30, which is only a 5-yard difference from where it is now on a touchback.
Well, I think the alternative there is so if a kick, if the ball enters the end zone in the air,
yes,
the receiving team can return it or kneel it. And like you said, if you kneel it or it goes out of the end of whatever, it goes to the 30.
It goes to the 30.
But they potentially have an incentive to take it out of there.
So there's 3 areas that this can end up. It can either end up at the 20, it can end up at the 30, and end up at the 40, or you return the thing. So there's a lot of...
And it probably won't be a lot of the 40s. Like there's no reason to not kick it to the 20.
Yes.
So the kicker is going to get it to the 20.
Yeah.
Like why wouldn't it? I mean, although we say this all the time about, I don't really understand how kickoffs go out of bounds, but they do.
I guess if you shanked one,
so maybe it will happen sometimes where a kicker screws it up and the ball doesn't get to the 20.
Well, and the reason why they're doing this, from my my crack research, aka me reading, is they don't want squib kicks.
Right.
So they do that. It has to land at the 20 because they don't want everyone squib kicking the ball. So
and if you want an onside, you can only it's only in the fourth quarter, and you have to declare it.
Yes.
That you're doing it.
The surprise onside kick is over,
and there are no fair catches.
No.
Okay. So it sort of incentivizes the kicker. Yeah, it sort of incentivizes the kicker And it incentivizes the return team.
Yeah.
In special teams, I guess there's a little bit more strategy in building out your special teams.
And that's what I was
running
hearing.
plays.
And they're saying there are a lot of NFL GMs right now that are saying, hey, this is definitely going to change how we go out building the back half of our roster. Because the only people that play special teams for the most part are it's the bottom 10 to 12 guys on your roster. And they said this is going to change in how we evaluate these things, and there'll be a learning curve. And all I'm saying is that if a team starts, if you get a Devin Hester type that just starts taking stuff back and he's returning stuff to the house or he's returning it to the 45 and 50 every time, we're just going to go back to, you son of a bitch, you kicked this thing 13 yards deep into the end zone and call it good.
There are going to be, when you get a returner who's dynamic, there are going to be teams that will just avoid him. And that's fine. Sure. But I think for most of them, you also have the element of where the special teams, the defense,
I think you can get
them. You think you can pin them way short of the 30. Yeah. So you don't want to kick it out of the end zone and give it to them at the 30 because you feel like you can stop them short of that.
Just a little bit more like there'll be some emphasis now to kind of put some air underneath it and kind of have some punts. Give you guys some,
That's right.
Put a little air under there and try to place the ball.
It's kind of a cool play now.
I don't know. It seems very gimmicky to me. It seems cheesy to me, but I am open. I'm open to it. Again, this is never bash anything until you see it. And I don't watch the XFL. God, I'd feel bad for anyone that does. Or now the USFL or whatever the hell they're calling that thing now.
Oh, it's gone already?
Well, they've combined the USFL and the XFL to some giant. It was two steaming pile. It was two piles of crap, and now it's just one big steaming pile of crap that like Fox and Colin are going to try to tell us is important.
Isn't Dwayne Johnson involved?
Yeah, he owns the XFL.
But it's not the XFL.
No, it's now the UFL.
So he owns the UFL.
He owns part of the UFL because he was the owner. He was the owner of the XFL.
Well, kickoff. The reason they're doing this is one, the kickoff has become lame because it's a touchback. It's stupid, and they did they ran the concussion numbers and they said that the kickoff return is only 6% of plays, but 20% of concussions resulted from that play.
Turns out that running 30 yards full steam as a heat-seeking missile and then running at other players, turns out that's bad for you.
So they did need to change it, and they're going to try this for a year, and we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to stick.
I hope so. I just think it'll be hilarious if everyone just kicks it out of the back of the end zone and is like, whatever, we're taking it to the 30, and then we're right back to the damn it.
All right. Blazers are making history. We'll get to that next on The Fan.
It's the Vancouver Ford text line.
Plenty of time to talk sports today.
One number does it all. 503-8
Didn't have my headphones in. I was reading about Diddy.
Yeah, what's going on with
Is there an
Diddy,
update?
man?
What's the latest?
Did you sort through any of the indictment or whatever
I saw more details on some of the allegations, and it's
I saw someone posted, and I don't know if it's the indictment or whatever. I think it is the case that they're laying out against him and his kids. It's 73 pages, so I just skimmed it. It was a PDF, but it's got photos and stuff in there. Oh my God! Like I probably spent 20 minutes.
What are we looking at?
What?
What are we looking at?
We've got, he's shooting people for S's and giggles to prove a point. We have full-on sex trafficking. We've got drug mule stuff, lots of underage.
I saw the drug mule is a former Syracuse basketball player.
Basketball guy, yeah. And, they've got photos of, gunshot victims, of underage girls. The one guy, Mr. Jones.
And so the sex trafficking, is that him providing underage individuals for other people? Or
both.
Yeah, okay.
Whole thing. And then drugging. His big deal was, he had separate, basically just drugging underage girls and of-age prostitutes as well. A lot of weird forced gay stuff in there, too, that he got off on forcing men that weren't homosexuals to be homosexuals. But it's some Jeffrey Epstein. There's even who's Epstein's gal? Is it what is it?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Diddy's got one of those. Diddy's got
Who's that?
Some
What's
girl
her name?
KK something or other. Again,
Dang, what do you think?
I don't remember exactly what her name was, but he had a full-on assistant who basically seemed like her whole deal was to set up sexual victims and to arrange those things. And then when stuff would go down, she would conveniently leave. Dude, it's nightmare fuel type stuff.
No wonder he fled the country.
And his two kids are directly involved in this. I mean, it is. And again, these are all just allegations, but you can find it out there. Like I said, it's 73 pages, and some of it you can the last 20 are just I don't know. It's like legalese. So I skipped all that. So you got 45 pages to skim through. It take you 20 minutes, and it's some, if any of it, even a quarter of it is true. And it seems really detailed. They've got witnesses and photos, and if even just a little bit of it is true, that dude is going away for a long time.
Yeah, they ain't gonna get him.
I don't know, man.
He'll never show his face again.
Well, that's true.
So that was going to be my next question is, do you guys think we'll ever hear from him again?
No.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I'm worth $1 billion, and it sounds like he was just brazen about this, and you got that many people that are rolling on you, why would you come back?
Well, and I think the answer is no, but to just disappear off the face of the earth.
Well, he doesn't have to disappear. He just has to find a place that's willing to shelter him. You have to go to a place that doesn't have extradition, which he's at right now, allegedly. His plane's there.
Do you think we'll catch a video from him? Any sort of a statement? Or do you think we've heard the last from Diddy?
No.
If
he's
smart.
He's already fled. That's a bad look. That's right there. That's telling you he knows.
Yeah, you have something to run from.
He's dead.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
So he's gone. I don't think we'll ever hear from him again.
That's wild.
I guess they said,
true.
so the kids got arrested.
Because he's not like he's denying it and fighting it. He left.
His two sons were apprehended yesterday, and then they were released, and they said that they went back to the house, and they were seen gathering up luggages and boxes, and then they're gone too. My guess is if those kids are smart too, that the plane's coming to pick them up next, and it's because the two sons are when you read through it, they're as implicated as he is. It's some.
So are they in custody right now?
What I read,
because you would certainly think they're a flight risk.
What I read today was that they were in the raid, that they were taken, and then at some point they were released, and there was video of them late at night going back to the homes, and we're seen gathering up boxes and luggage and loaded it up, and then we're gone. And where they're at now, I don't know. But it's
all right.
It is a surreal freaking thing. That is a big. I mean, that's one of the most influential music guys of the last, 30 years?
Well, it sounds like it's Epstein level.
It certainly is.
Without the inclusion of other celebs, although it sounds like Cuba Gooding Jr. was involved.
Yeah, he's in. So the main guy that I guess started this whole thing, that they call him Mr. Jones.
Well, he's the guy suing.
He's the guy suing.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's why. I don't think it's the indictment. I think it's his lawyers. This is the.
I'm reading Prince Harry's name popped up.
Uh-oh.
I didn't see Prince Harry on there, but again, I was only skimming it. But the Mr. Jones guy, yeah, he says at one point, he alleges kind of that Cuba Gooding Jr. raped him. So he said that
Yeah.
that he
we
was
talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, he was being groomed.
Yeah.
And then at one point he was put in a room with Cuba Gooding Jr., who was like groping him, and then like he was pushing him away, and then he said he was drugged because that's what Diddy did, and he woke up naked and sore. Yeah. It's bad stuff, man.
Did we need that?
Well, no.
Did you need to say that on the radio?
It's what I read. And there are photos, by the way, of Cuba Gooding Jr. nestled up to the dude.
Dude. Yeah. So we're talking about P. Diddy, by the way.
Yeah, if you don't know.
Yeah, that's
Puff
who-
Daddy, Sean Combs.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
All right. Blazers. Forget about P. Diddy and naked soreness.
Yeah.
God, dude.
Oh, boy.
The Blazers are making history. I don't know if you know this.
I think I might know this. The lineup, maybe?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Making history.
Yeah.
We'll get to that next on The Fan.
Is anyone brave enough to fade UConn? I'm Chris Mack, here to help you beat the books with BetQL. It's a rematch of last year's national title game, and Connecticut is a double-digit favorite at -11. But the BetQL model is backing San Diego State in the round of 16. BetQL has them at +11 as a 5-star best bet. I'm Chris Mack. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Commercial Industrial Auctioneers is holding their car, truck, and
All right, welcome back. Good little Tuesday. Hey, Thursday we'll be out at X Golf Tualatin for Fan Madness 2, Electric Boogaloo.
And Friday, by the way.
Friday, noon to 7 at X Golf Vancouver.
Yeah.
Danny and Dusty, both places. Us, both places. It's courtesy of George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law and Coors Light.
Party at my house afterwards on Friday. Party at the Moon Tower.
Fantastic. So join us. We've got the bets on Jonte Porter, Christmas NFL, and Pat Chun is leaving Washington State.
Yeah.
For Washington.
It's not good.
That's all to come. But Blazers are making history, JC Babes.
Yeah, I saw this.
Check it.
That starting lineup is a hell of a crew.
Well, they did it again last night. Well, they lost, but they ran out the same starting five of all rookies.
Yeah.
And according to NBA.com,
which I would assume is an accurate website,
since starters were first tracked on NBA box scores more than 50 years ago, the Blazers are only the second team to start 5 rookies in a game in 50 years.
And they're doing it multiple times.
And they've now done it again. They did it again last night.
Oh, but to be fair, Duop Reef's like 28 or 29, so, you know.
But he's a rookie.
He's a rookie. Yeah, Kamara, Murray, Reith, Scoot is going to that lake, and then our man, Ryan Rupar.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
No, it was competitive for a while. You know, they looked good for the first half, and then not so much in the third or fourth.
I wouldn't know.
You didn't watch any of it?
No. Why the hell would I watch them? Good grief. Why would anyone watch them?
I'm going to go to that lake.
I poke my head in from time to time. Like in between periods, like the hockey intermission. This is one of the reasons I love hockey so much. That 20-minute intermission gives you a real nice opportunity to just kind of cruise around, see what else is happening. I enjoy it.
So the only other team to start 5 rookies was the Golden State Warriors on April 26th of 2012.
Oh.
Klay Thompson, Charles Jenkins, Chris Wright, Jeremy Tyler, and Michael Gladness.
Yikes.
Or perhaps
Mikhail Gladness.
Gladness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm assuming like if we're going down that road, then
it was more like Mikhail Sadness. I'll tell you.
Scoot Henderson will be the Klay Thompson of that group, and everyone else will be like, who?
Who would win in a battle of the rookie starting lineups?
Well, I don't know any of those goals.
I know. That's why I kind of want to take the Blazers.
I think Charles Jenkins was the point guard who was in for Steph when he was having all those ankle issues early in his career.
His foot and ankle problems. I mean, I don't know. If you listen to Danny, every one of those Blazers is going to go on to be, the key component to them winning an NBA
franchise
title.
Guys.
Yeah. He loves himself some Ryan Rupert. Don't even get started on Kamara. I mean, I have no idea. Outside of Scoot, those other guys could all be gone in 2 or 3 years. Couldn't tell you.
This could be just the fourth 60-plus loss season in Blazers history. They've only had 3 others.
Oh, hey, but remember when they weren't tanking? No, Scoot was going to hit the ground running, and hey, we can rebuild and win all at the same time.
I'm going to go to that lake,
and they probably will lose 60. I mean, I don't know what the record is, but
they're 19 and 53, and there's 10 to play.
Yeah, they're not going to win.
No, they'll lose 60 games.
Yeah.
I feel pretty confident.
So 1972, 1973, and 2006 are the only other times they lost 60 or more.
Well, and to be fair, like if we're being honest about it, this is the 3rd year. This isn't the first year of a rebuild. They have tanked now for 3 years in a row. The first year, or 2 years ago, that was the one where there was a legitimate injury. Last year, they pulled the plug on everybody, and this year, they just suck. So, and by the way, get ready for year 4 next year because they're not going to be any good next year either.
You know what's wild is that 2006 year, that was Nate McMillan's first year. You know who was on that team?
I believe Nate McMillan. Please get it right.
Can you guess?
Who was on that team? What year was it?
2006.
2006. Was that was that a Roy Aldridge sort of thing? Was that their rookie year?
No. They hadn't come along yet.
I don't know. Who was on the team 2006?
This team lost 60 games.
Odin? Was Odin on the team?
Zach Randolph, Darius Miles, Steve Blake, Juan Dixon, Joel Prisbilla, Sebastian Telfair, Theo Ratliff, Ruben Patterson.
Am I wrong in thinking that's actually a pretty good team?
That's what I'm saying.
They don't sound horrible.
How the hell did they lose 60 games?
Injuries, perhaps?
Bruh.
Did Zach shoot someone?
Miles only started 23.
I was going to say, there had to
Zach played 74.
And he was probably a 20-10 guy. That team lost 60 games?
I think they might have tanked. Victor Kriapa came in.
Yeah, there might have been a tank
for a
job
bit.
in there. You know.
Sergei Monia.
I remember some Sergei Monia.
Webster Martell.
That's kind of where I'm hoping that a lot of these Blazers end up, like the lost to history, where years from now we're like, hey, remember Ryan Rupert? They're like, oh yeah, the Victor Kriapas of the world, Monia, the Rudy Fernandez.
Yeah, it looks like
who was the other Spanish guy they had? There was Rudy, and then there was another one.
Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Sergio Rodriguez.
Yeah, Sergio.
Yeah.
Right. I think that was the one time when the Blazers were supposedly turned down an All-Star for in the trade. Someone wanted Sergio and offered up an All-Star, and they're like, no.
I think that was Rudy.
Was that Rudy?
That was Rudy. Yeah.
Oh. They were like, no, we're not doing that.
So that year they lost. So they did kind of tank it.
Yeah.
They were pretty. God, they were bad. Oh my God.
Well, if you lose 60 games, you're bad.
Well, I just thought maybe
that's all kinds of bad.
They tanked, but they were pretty bad right out of the gate.
That doesn't seem like that doesn't seem like an awful roster though.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I was trying to look into it.
A little surprised.
They only won 7 games from January 18th on the rest of the season. They won twice in the last month and a half.
Well.
So, there was a little tanking going on.
A little tank.
And then Miles got shut down and all that. Anyway.
Yeah, wait till next year when we get to do it all over again.
Your hometown team.
Well, and that's why this year's draft supposedly is stinky. So somehow you want to try to find Golden State's pick next year. You have 2 picks in a draft that no one really likes. Though next year supposedly is a good draft. So we're going to get told that next year doesn't matter because the rookies aren't going to be very good, and then you'll be terrible that year, and then you'll get draft picks the next year, and then you'll draft that guy, and then you have to wait 3 years for that guy to develop. Then you'll be good. So let's give it like 6 years.
All right, up next we have the Jonte Porter bets. Whoops. It's 417 on the Fan.
The
Do we have to stop listening to his music now?
I did that like 30 years ago, so...
Dude, we still play Michael Jackson music in grocery stores. No one has to do anything regarding music,
That's
apparently.
true.
Give him hot milk. We have little cookies.
I'm not trying to throw shade at Diddy, although mainly because
Why wouldn't you?
Well, I don't want to get shot.
He's not going to shoot you.
Boy, it sounds like he shoots people, like without really much thought about it. Outside of like the early, like the I'll Be Missing You, the Sting ripoff, and then like the Mace stuff, like Mo Money, More Problems, which was mainly made. Like what? I know he's worth like $1 billion.
Well, isn't he more of a producer?
I think so.
He is. I mean, I think he made his, or he kind of gained his popularity sampling other tracks. Like, I mean, even that like Mo Money, More Problems is it's something else that's sampled. It's
like I don't
Pointer
know,
Sisters or something like that.
I don't know what his hits are. That's the
All
only...
About the Benjamins, maybe.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'll
that
Be
one.
Missing You is great.
Yeah, but again, that's.
But that was again, he took another.
But like that's actually him. Everything else is just like he's collaborating on. I just don't know his stuff.
Hey, remember when he hit that UCLA strength and conditioning coach with a kettlebell? Remember when that was the thing?
What?
Yeah, remember like his kid was playing at UCLA and he got all mad and he got in a confrontation and he hit the strength and conditioning coach with a kettlebell.
Look, someone said
Dude.
the other day, like,
No,
or
I don't.
just not the other day, today, a little bit ago, like he always thought Diddy was kind of a bitch, but I guess behind the scenes, like he's a dude that you don't mess with.
Yeah, we'll discuss this more later, but this was the first thing that popped in my head when I was like, oh man, I used to think that he was kind of a bitch, and now maybe he was actually all about it.
Yeah, sounds like he was.
You about that noise, boss?
He was
I
wild.
guess.
All right, where was I teasing here? Oh, Jonte Porter.
Ah, yes.
We were talking yesterday about this little story in the NBA. He is, he plays for the Raptors.
He played. He ain't playing anymore.
They shut him down. He was the guy who they found suspicious activity on his prop bet unders when he conveniently left games 3 and 4 minutes in, so his unders would cash.
Yeah.
We were asking yesterday, what are the numbers on this? Like, how many people tried to bet? How much money? And we didn't know any of that. Well, now we do, Jace.
Yes, we do.
And this is ESPN's updated story. A sportsbook industry source told ESPN that multiple betting accounts attempted to bet large amounts, upwards of $10,000 and $20,000 on Porter unders in the January game against the Clippers. Yeah. Betting limits on NBA player props vary by sportsbook and customer, but are typically only around $1,000 to $2,000. He said, the source said, people were trying to do whatever they could to bet Jonte Porter props against the Clippers, and then just a few days ago, the same thing. We had a bunch of people trying to bet under for more.
And I hate to be the bearer of bad news to morons trying to do this. You know, sportsbooks keep track of everything. Your account, when it was formed, what your gambling habits are, what's the average bet. And when they get, I don't know, abnormalities like this, they look into it because they don't like getting defrauded.
Yeah, it blows me away that
Dumbasses.
whoever this is thought that they could get away with this.
Yeah, that a professional book was just going to be like, well, I guess someone bet $50,000 on this guy averaging 4 points a game.
The other thing it doesn't say here is if the bets were approved. I would imagine because if you toss in a bet that is too high or over the limit,
say no.
They won't let you bet it.
Yeah.
But I do think that there are some customers who over time build that rapport with their book and they get to bet more than the average guy.
Sure.
Was that this what was?
Don't know.
Oh my God, I can't speak.
I know where you're
Were
going
those
with it.
these people?
I don't know.
Or were they denied that money? It's very weird.
Well, did you hear about his Discord server at all? Have you heard about
No.
this? Okay. Do you know what Discord is? It's like
No.
It's kind of like a social network type place where
Like
different people, different groups can gather and you
It's
can.
like I always think of like Reddit threads or
Yeah,
like
it's
the
kinda like
4chan
Reddit.
sort of stuff.
But apparently, Jonte Porter had a secret or a private Discord server where he would offer up his stock tips and NBA plays.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It says, I'm looking at a tweet right now that says Jonte had a Discord where he tells people what to trade and bet on. You have to pay $49.99 to see the premium room, but in the main room, they are discussing things like the NBA and Jonte, and people are thanking him for their winnings. This is wild, wild stuff.
Whoa.
I hope it was worth it because he ain't ever playing again in the NBA.
You think it was Shohei's interpreter?
No, because if it's Shohei's
Jonte and
interpreter,
Ipe?
he would have lost.
Well,
I do appreciate that he is a man of integrity, though, because he's like, well, I'm not going to go out and play poorly. I just won't play. And by the way, the reason why he probably had to do that was if he goes out and plays poorly in a game or two, he's going to get his ass sent back down to the G League. He can't afford to not go out and play his hardest. And I think it was Danny was saying that there's the film of him in these two games pulling himself out. I guess it's he pulled himself out. No one came and got him.
Well, yeah.
And it's
got to catch those unders.
It's pretty suspect.
Pretty?
Yeah.
I mean, this is all so
they got
obvious.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, bud.
Now, I wonder who the people trying to bet. Are those his buddies? You think he put them up to
his
it with
buddies, maybe some
or people who follow him on this server, like,
Or-
hey, you pay me for these tips, I'll hook you up with on the back end with some prop plays.
Or he's in with somebody who's got some gambling debts or
Sure.
whatever, and they're making him do this.
Yeah.
Or
Well, I can see where the colossally stupid would think that this is an easy way to make 80 grand, whatever, right? They're
by the way, just real quick,
Yeah.
he's made $2.4 million in his NBA career.
yeah, because he's had a couple like 1-year contracts and now he's on a 2-way.
For those wondering, he's made $2.4 million.
So-
So you tell me if that's worth it.
Well, he's probably got in the grant, but he doesn't have. There's nothing left for that. Guarantee that he's not sitting on. You taxes and all that. You cut it in half. I'm sure, like I said, this was just one of those ways to quickly earn, a couple, whatever it was, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $10,000 at a pop, and it was just kind of viewed as easy, free money. And I just don't know how you can't. How dumb do you have to be to think that no one's going to notice the abnormalities in this? Because what do you think, in all honesty, the most in the history of this dumbass's career that anyone has bet on his props? $1,000? $500?
Not even that.
Total? I'm saying total.
Oh, total?
Total. I mean, my God.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's a ton.
No, and then all of a sudden a bunch of $10,000 bets come in?
Right.
God, you're a moron.
Maybe he was thinking, no one will be able to. It's an eye injury. You can't prove that I didn't get hurt. Maybe he was thinking that.
Yeah, maybe someone's in his ear. It's all about what you can prove. They can't prove your eye didn't hurt.
It.
No,
Yeah.
that's why I'd go with like a nondescript back spasm. Prove that my back isn't.
Well, prove the
seizing up.
eye isn't re-injured. His eyes are very important to him.
Can't someone just look at his eye and be like, dude, it looks fine. It's not even red.
Well, apparently he injured it 4 days before, so that was his like
it really hurts.
If he actually did get poked in the eye, then he's like, this is my chance.
I guess. He called some people and we're like, guys,
check this out.
I got it.
Dude, I need more deets.
Yeah.
I need to know how this all went down.
Well, he's never going to play in the NBA again. They're going to suspend him for life. And even if they don't suspend him for life, if they don't nail him to the cross, which they're going to, no NBA team is going to touch this dumbass. Because why would you? Why would anyone even bother on a two-way guy? Exactly.
I don't even know why the Raptors bothered in the first place.
Yeah, they need warm bodies.
All right, up next. We're already in the news.
Yeah.
Look at that. Hey,
it's gone fast today.
The Baltimore Bridge collapse is nuts.
Boy,
Let's talk about that.
My gal was just on that thing like
Really?
a month or two ago. Yeah, she
Narrow miss.
She was a little spooky
for
today.
BTJ.
Well, that was the first thing I woke up to was like her sending me that and was like, "Oh my God, I was just there."
Can she swim?
Not very well.
Did you hear about the Oh, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Wait, is this bridge collapse news or?
Well, there was a person that was
Yeah.
rescued from the
Yes.
water that refused medical
Yes,
attention.
yeah,
So
yeah,
they're
yeah.
just walking around Baltimore, like,
badass.
yeah.
We'll get to it all next. Here is Buck with SportsCenter. cruising right along, guys. That's what's happening. If you're just tuning in, you have missed everything.
Sorry. If only there was a way to go back and listen.
Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, if only.
I can't get enough of this NIT Georgia-Ohio State game.
Actually, you can go back and listen. The fan podcasts are available for you anywhere you get your podcast. Although I do find it funny that as a radio company, we have to put little transistor radios all around our office in order to listen. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. How else would we?
Well, the old place, it was all wired up for it, like all cool style.
Look at you. Again, with the case of the disposals.
Every station, when you walk by its studio, there was a speaker outside where you could hear what it was playing.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that was the olden days, all right?
Now, they've got little $30 transistor radios.
$30, come on. Those are like $49.95.
Inflation.
Yeah, I got the little antenna
They used
on there.
to be 30.
It's old school.
It is March 26, 2024. It's time now for In the News. I'm your noted newsman. Hello, thank you.
Hold on. You had to pick something up.
Oh, I dropped my Sharpie.
Get a little winded there, bending over, did you?
Today is National Spinach Day.
I got nothing against spinach.
It is also National Make Up Your Own Holiday Day.
Wow, that seems a bit odd. Like, what? If you had to make up a holiday, like...
Also, can anyone make up a holiday? Because I don't think that's just like allowed in society. You can't be like, I made this up and now I get the day off.
I don't think they will allow you.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know. Like, how do holidays actually? Well, not holidays, but like when we say it's National Spinach Day, like how did that come about? What is the process?
Big spinach.
Huh?
Big spinach.
Well, what do? They fill out a piece of paper?
It's all lobbies at this point,
It probably starts with the Spinach Farmers of America, and then they go to
when
the
avocado had their day, and then like pistachios, like during the World Series.
Oh yeah,
like the National Egg Council. Big spinach, man. And I will tell you what, if I'm going to eat a salad, I'd rather have a spinach salad than I would like an iceberg,
for sure,
like wedge.
For sure.
But every once in a while, when I research this every day for In the News, I'll click on the day, like National Spinach Day or whatever it is.
Sure.
Just because it will tell you the origin of it. And many times, no one really seems to know how these days become days.
Yeah, it just happens. Oh. And does anyone, because I think you can pretty much get anyone to get a day, because who cares if it's National Spinach Day? I don't think it's
so you can make up your own holiday.
Yeah, I think as long as it's reasonable, my guess is you can get one of these things approved.
Well, I declare
fairly easily.
Isaac Ropp Day, July 9th.
Yeah, why not?
That's my birthday.
Sure. Like when you're in New Orleans, for like $300 you can get a parade.
And you guys all send me money on Venmo.
Well, like $1?
However much you want.
Yeah, you can go down there and get your own parade for like less than $350. And you get a police escort and everything. You just have to go down and fill out some paperwork.
Why? Why would you do that?
Like people do it for like parties and like weddings and whatever. You go down to like the office planner. They will plan the route for you through the French Quarter. You get a police escort. You get they have special vehicles, like the meter maid type of people. It's a little police vehicle that says like, I forget the department.
And they'll block part of the street for you and everything. And I have friends who did this recently for, they were like blowing out someone's like 40th birthday. And so they all went down there. And so like the best friend who kind of planned ahead of time, they like got the permits from the city office. And then they they got a band and they had a little second line parade.
And then when you're walking down, they will try to get you as you're wandering around the quarter. Those people will try to get you to join their parade.
Yeah.
And some of them are pretty fun. Next thing you know, you just,
Hey, you know what? Now that you explain it, that's a really good idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Portland should 100% do this. Like you just get some parades going around Portland, and then we just...
I think people would be bothered.
We just invite more culture war.
Exactly. New Orleans
Yeah.
is a little different.
That's
It's like
true.
a party scene, and everybody's like, "Yeah, let's party. Who are you? Don't care."
You couldn't
Portland's
do it.
not like that.
What's the Chinatown down there? Like, the little entertainment district. We can't have something down there? I guess we got that.
Well, you can.
I guess we got that homeless mission thing. The problem is that as you had your party, the people that were joining it would not be the ones that you'd want joining it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
What? No. Homeless?
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're down there with a couple buddies, then you got like a parade of homeless.
Oh, you're talking about here.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. Although that would be kind of interesting. You're just,
I think we can safely say Portland maybe not the best city for it.
Community outreach sort of thing. Hey, who's that? I don't know. That's Bob. We picked him up over there off Burnside. I don't know. He just kind of followed us around. Knows where to score.
Well, this Baltimore
Someone said Portland has those. It's called protesting. Well played.
Well, there's that too. Yeah.
Well played, Vancouver Ford text line.
This Baltimore bridge collapse is pretty wild.
Oh, it's
I don't
terrifying.
know if you guys have seen this.
That's the first thing I woke up to this morning was video of that.
Yeah, the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore has been hit by a cargo ship and collapsed.
Yeah.
Of course, Francis Scott Key of JFK fame.
I believe that's more of the
Shot JFK.
national anthem.
Yeah, pretty wild. This ship, I guess, sent warnings that, hey, I don't know, I haven't read up.
They lost power.
Okay, so they were just floating toward the bridge.
They lost power, lost the ability to steer. At least that's what they're saying right now.
Because they were able to get in a Mayday signal, right?
Yeah. They sent in a warning.
They're like, Mayday, Mayday. And so they stopped people from going on the bridge. Luckily, it was at 1:30 in the morning, so there weren't that many cars on the bridge, and they were able to stop more from getting on there. And then it's 1,000-foot ship, just massive cargo ship.
Tons of tanker or cargo
the shipping containers, and it hit one of the pylons, the pillars there, and the whole damn thing. By the way, tickle me. I did not know that you could collapse an entire bridge by doing that. But the whole freaking thing came down, and it's all on camera. It is freaking
We're gonna need
nuts.
Buttigieg on this.
Yeah,
but I have to think.
I don't think it's supposed to.
Yeah, that should not have happened. This goes into the file it into the category of our infrastructure is crumbling.
I did see something from an engineer, though, structural engineer, saying that they were comparing the size of this freighter to like throwing an entire skyscraper into the infrastructure of a bridge. And he's like, this should happen.
It's 1,000-foot container just filled with thousands of those. I don't know how much that thing weighs, but yeah, it's a meteor.
And I think because of the sheer size and force behind that, it wasn't surprising that happened.
And so they were, as of right now, 6 or 7 people that are missing and dead. I love, by the way, that they're doing the mayor like an hour ago.
By the way, how cool is that guy?
Yeah, he looks like he's like 30.
Well, they say, we're now going to talk to the Baltimore mayor. And then they're interviewing this guy, and he's just in like a zip up, and he looks kind of cool, and he's good looking. And like you expect just some old...
I was not prepared.
White guy, you know?
No.
He's a black guy.
He's like Ed Reed's younger brothers out there like, hey, I'm the mayor.
He's like, I just got off the golf course, but here's what I think.
Yeah.
So it's there's 6 people that they still have yet to find.
Yeah, they said that like they were determined to do a search and rescue. Dude, the water is like 39 degrees. There is no search and rescue. Yeah. And they were saying that they had some sonar where they could see cars at the bottom. They didn't know if anyone was in those cars, but there were some workers on there. I mean, it's all bad. And one bro went into the water and then just was like, nah, I'm cool. They're like, do you want...
They rescued him.
Yeah, and they were like, medical attention. He's like, nah, I'm out of here. Deuces. And just walked off. What?
I think it was Diddy.
That dude just took a bridge collapse, went into ice cold water at 1:30 in the morning and shook it off.
Yeah, maybe he had to catch a tea time.
I get at 1:30 in the morning.
Well, I mean the next morning. He can't go to the hospital.
Like Chuck Norris go into the water?
Yeah, that mayor's name is Brandon Scott. He's 39.
Yeah. I did see, by the way, I SU not. So on Twitter, I went down a whole rabbit hole today. There were certain news organizations. Oh my God. One person blamed it on COVID, which was amazing.
I saw one on our open borders.
Yeah, open borders.
Connect those dots.
Well, which one? The open borders or the COVID?
I like the border one.
The border one was this. Well, as of right now, there's no indication that this was an act of terrorism, that this was more of just an accident. But this is the sort of thing that could happen with our open borders. And then they just launched into the open border. I kid you not.
Well, but where's the
The connection was,
Rob, is really
an illegal could get a hold of a tanker like this.
This is the kind of thing that could happen if we're not careful. This is the kind of thing
that could happen.
Yeah.
They were in the middle of talking about a massive bridge collapse, people dying, and they brought up that while they don't think it's related to open borders, this is the sort of thing that's going to start happening if we have open borders. I was like,
And then what's the COVID?
Well, Rob, we've never really recovered from COVID, and if you listen to anyone, they'll tell you right now that we can't find anyone competent to do work. You look at the airplanes right now, we don't have anyone that can run these sorts of things, and we've never pulled out of COVID, and it was all the shutdowns, and it's because of that we're having these sorts of things. This is the news coverage. that people are eating up. Meanwhile, people are dying, and a major bridge. They're saying this is going to have a massive economic impact. Imagine if the I-5 bridge or the Glenn Jackson or the 4 just was gone for the city of Baltimore. They said this is massive because my gal was just there. Her
We'd
company
have to jet ski across.
Yeah, her company has a big a warehouse there in Baltimore that she has to go to every year, and they were saying that this is just, not just from a lost life, which is obviously tragic, but from a financial impact, this is going to be enormous.
They're saying I read something that the Amazon warehouse that is right on the other side of the bridge at the opening of the harbor, so all deliveries are going to be delayed. That it's also where all the shipping containers with all the cars comes in. So all the different dealerships are not going to get their inventory. It's going to mess up a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But hey, remember,
brutal.
Open borders.
Don't get the jab.
Don't get the jab. Open borders.
What does it cost to live comfortably in Portland? We have the new numbers next on The Fan.
This is The Fan's Window into Sports, a view into today's top stories, brought to you by Window Nation, online at windownation.com.
Hey guys, Matt Thrash here, enjoying some March Madness with my great friend Pete Rose.
Your noted newsman here. Thank you. I was teasing if you know how much it costs, or how much you have to make, to live comfortably in Portland.
Again, I'm always weirded out by this comfortably. I always heard that it was like $75,000.
Okay.
Like after that, anything else is like it doesn't affect your happiness, which I don't necessarily buy, but that's always the number that I.
Well, yeah, that's a different.
It's a different.
That's different.
Okay.
They do say that anything over 75 grand, you don't get any happier.
Yeah.
They say that.
So I
tend to disagree. But
yeah, I know.
I mean, I wouldn't know. I make
it's that
20.
old. You make Ryan Buckley money. I need that Buckley trust fund money. I don't know. I think 75,000 you should be able to live, but
nay.
No?
Nay. Wrong. No. This is according to this is new data. This is 2024 data published by the financial tech company Smartass. Oh wait, sorry, Smart Asset. And it says that if you're a single Portland resident, making less than $52.90 per hour.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a lot, dude. You are not living comfortably.
Really?
You know what that equates to annually? That per hour rate?
What do we got?
That is 110 G's, bro.
Really?
Yep, that's what they're saying.
As a single person, no kids, no nothing. I'm calling horse bleep on that.
It says the hourly pay equates to $110,000 per year. Meanwhile, couples living with 2 children would need to make a combined annual salary of
$164.
$289,786 US dollars.
Get the hell out of town. You entitled sons of bitches. 280. I raised 3 kids by myself, and I can assure you, I did not make 208. What was it?
$289,786 US dollars.
Where are they living? In order to be comfortable, do I need a penthouse at the Ritz?
Says, while cost of living premiums and inflation metrics capture the price increases in goods and services, they do not necessarily account for all the additional costs needed to live comfortably, such as a buffer from the stress of living paycheck to paycheck. Smart Ass reports that it compiled these figures using a 50-30-20 budget and applying the local taxes and cost of necessities. The 50-30-20 budget recommends that for sustainable comfort, 50% of your salary should be allocated to your needs, such as housing, groceries, and transportation. 30% should go towards wants, like entertainment and hobbies, and then 20% towards paying off debt, saving, or investment.
So should I go to my kids and tell them all that their childhood sucked because their dad was poor and uncomfortable? What? That is an absurd,
Isn't that crazy?
Absurd figure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. That seems really high.
I guess you gotta be living at that lake. I don't know.
It's gotten more expensive for sure.
Well, yeah, I know it has.
That expensive?
$290.
$290 for a well. Now again,
to that lake.
That's two kids.
I had 3.
Yeah,
and I had 1. There was 1 income.
God dang, what do you think?
Now, does it matter?
Were you comfortable though?
I thought I was. I thought it was all right.
I don't think you were.
No, apparently not.
Ow!
Did it matter that was I able to do it because I didn't have the spouse? Although, which is worse, not having the spouse, or that the spouse couldn't provide income?
Which is worse, not having a spouse?
Because it was just me. And I did not make $290,000, but I also didn't have to pay for a spouse, but I had no spouse contributing.
Okay, see, I think the latter is worse. If you have a spouse and she doesn't contribute, because she will, they'll buy things, right? Like they have needs. You have to feed them. You have to, so that costs money.
Yeah,
if they're not bringing in, if they're not bringing anything in, that's no good. You know.
Yeah,
whereas if you don't have one, then you don't have any costs associated with her.
She was a tiny Korean. She didn't eat much, so like to go shopping a bit though. $290,000. Boy, I'll tell you what. Some of those people need to learn to clip coupons every now and then, or say no. I do find a little bit of that. Like, I know that times are tough and that sometimes, obviously, people are in tough situations, but boy, sometimes our entitlement of what being comfortable is.
Totally.
Get used to being uncomfortable then.
Yeah, it's like all the things you want, you cannot have.
No.
Let's start right there.
Carcucci board.
You got to cut out the Carcucci board.
My daughter wants to, so she's getting ready to go to school. She came back from Korea. Like, she really wants to go to Boston University. It's like her dream.
Oh, my God.
It's like $60K a year or something? What is that?
$60K?
I just meant for like tuition.
Think again, Mr.
90.
Buckley.
Is it
More?
like
90? What is it? What are we talking?
Just tuition alone for out of state's like 76. Ooh. And then whatever you
so
throw,
60 wasn't that bad of a guess.
Whatever you throw on
He
top
was
of that.
laughing at your 60.
60. So my daughter was like, my daughter was asking about that, and I literally started laughing. And then she brought up maybe the University of Oregon. Anyone paying attention to what out of state at the University of Oregon is right now?
God dang, what do you
How much
think?
is it?
$46,000 in tuition. Guess what she got when she brought up Oregon when I said Boston wasn't an option? Think again.
Does she know how uncomfortable you were raising them with your piddly radio
I
salary?
guess that's the thing. If that makes me uncomfortable to laugh at my child and be like, let's try this again, eventually you're going to get to a school that we can afford. Like, maybe that is uncomfortable, but again, welcome to the world. And I'll tell you what, even if I made $290,000, we're still not paying for Boston University. Who, by the way, is sending their kid out of state? No offense to the University of Oregon, which is a fine institution. Who on earth is sending their kid to Oregon and writing a check per year for $46,000? What?
Probably a lot of people.
40. Good gravy.
That's it. That's all I got.
We're done.
Shut up.
Sorry.
That's in the news for March 26, 2024.
God dang, what do you think?
I'm going to go be very uncomfortable now.
Yeah,
Notice how Buck didn't say anything.
I know.
Buck's
what are you expecting me to say?
comfortable over there.
They were hurting you so bad. Oh, no.
We have a theory on Buck.
Oh, yeah.
Do I know this theory?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
But Suk and I are.
Yeah, we've got an over-under on you, buddy.
We're
Let's
not
just,
dumb.
Let's just say that.
Oh, is this what we discussed this the other
We're
day,
not
didn't we,
dumb.
Isaac?
No, we're not.
We're
dumb.
not dumb.
You're laying the groundwork. You're laying the foundation right now.
We know what's coming.
Yeah, we're aware. Let's just say when there's an announcement, no one's going to be surprised by it.
Well, I will tell you there is nothing that is brewing at this point in time.
Did you hear the language?
At this point
point, I don't know what to tell you. I will not be the next head coach of the University of Alabama. At this time.
I am not going anywhere.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. A lot of big talk.
All right.
You out of your mind?
The Hot 5 at 5 is next. Let's see. What do I have here? We've got some NFL news today. Spring training concludes. And yesterday, Washington State lost its basketball coach, and Washington added one. Today, Washington State is without an AD, and Washington gains one. Hint. They took Washington State.
At least they didn't take their basketball coach, too.
It's 5 o'clock on the Fan. We'll be right back.
It's time for High Stakes, a tasty look at clutch performances and the biggest games. Served up by Steakadelphia.
Kamara turned it over. Here's Green streaking the other way. And the Rockets have regained the lead.
Yeah, it's a clutch loss on the part of the Portland Trailblazers because what's at stake? Well, two things. One, draft position. With every loss, your odds improve in the lottery.
but a nice, juicy little Tuesday. It's your Sports Bros, Rop and Sook. I'm Rop. Big Sook's right over there.
Yeah, right here. Watching this big Red Wings Capitol tilt right now.
The great Ryan Buckley is here, although
God dang, what do you think?
We don't know for how long.
Yeah, wheels are in motion. Buck's laying the foundation for pulling the golden parachute.
Yeah,
if only there were a golden parachute.
Well, our theory is that Ryan Buckley will be leaving us to become a stay-at-home dad.
Yes,
and it won't be long.
No, you've already been a stay-at-home dad once, and let's just say that Buck a couple times has already done the, hey guys, you know what's crazy is we're talking about how difficult it is to find someone to watch the kid, and my wife's like, well, wouldn't it be crazy if I just was a stay-at-home dad again? Wouldn't that be crazy? Oh yeah, you just
no. I think it was I think it was last week. My wife suggested that we sell our house and buy a little place by the beach, and then we just work off one income there.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Just saying, Buck,
that was the latest, but
it was real subtle with you throwing that out there.
I cannot afford to just go home and be a dad. I can tell you that much.
And it's like, hey, honey, wouldn't it be crazy, if we just like brought a third into the bedroom or whatever? Like, wouldn't that be crazy? Like, it's totally nuts. Like, I wouldn't do it unless you're into it. No, seriously, I'm just kidding. But like, are you serious? Like, nice, slick laying the groundwork, Buck. We know. You're over under. We already put it at mid-December.
Mid-December.
By Christmas, by Christmas, buddy, you are long gone.
Do you know how Buck locks this down for sure?
Locks what down? My departure?
Yeah.
Or locks what down?
The stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which you've already done.
You're gonna. All you have to do is knock her up again.
Yep. You're one away.
She would kill me.
She would kill you as you were living at home in slippers.
Then the math works.
Yes.
You got the 3.
Yeah.
But no, it does not work because that's another mouth you have to feed.
Mm-hmm.
The math does not work.
No, but it does, though.
No, it does
At
not.
that point, then you can't afford health care. You can't afford child care.
You have to stay at home.
And you have to stay at home.
But you can't afford child care for 3 kids on one adult salary.
It's not one adult salary.
We
know the trust fund's coming in. We know.
Yeah, you'd have to move to a cheaper place to live.
That's when.
But I don't want to move.
That's when Papa Buckley starts stroking that check.
Live sustainably.
Money's still going the other way.
Grow your own garden.
Oh, there it is.
Farm to table.
That, you know what? That's the solution.
Buy some chickens.
Our own veggies to get us through the winters.
And as the Vancouver Ford text line points out, another 5 to 6 months off work.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, that's the thing is you'll take the paid vacation and then you'll leave on the backside of it. You'll come back for like 2 weeks and be like, oh.
Is Dirt back yet?
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, he's back.
He's back. Okay. Yeah. I feel like he wasn't out as long as
he wasn't. He didn't take as much time.
Why?
I don't know.
What's his problem?
Only one kid. He'll take the full time for the second.
Oh, okay. So you get more if it's a second kid?
No. I just think that he's I'm good.
Okay.
I think he declined taking the fully allotted amount.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe he's taking the rest later, which I think you can defer some of the time.
Ah.
So maybe that's it. Maybe he's using it later on.
But can you imagine being a stay-at-home dad?
It'd be awesome. If I could do that, I would be doing that.
There we go.
He loves it. He loves the idea.
Supports my point.
If
I could do that, I would be doing that.
You want to do it.
You will.
You're working towards it.
Exactly.
I am not working towards being a stay-at-home dad.
You've already had, since you've been back, God bless America, the Red Wings suck. You've already had multiple, we got no one to watch the kid. You're like one healthcare or like child care crisis away from being it. Like
there have been like a handful of days that I've had.
Exactly. You're one big moment away where you have to take like 4 days off before like you go to your wife and be like, honey, I just don't think this is sustainable. You're probably going to go to your parents who are helping you out and be like, just everyone like abandon us for like 2 weeks and I'm golden. Fuck, this
is quite the scheme.
Yeah, it is. You're like Mr. Porter over there. Look, you're cashing prop bets right now, and we can see through it. Like, use Neutrogena. We know what's up. It's all right.
Yeah, like, why are you not pushing for this? Like, I think that would be
What
great.
do you mean, why am I not pushing for what? Like, that's not a possibility.
You notice how whenever he says that he's just stumbling over words? He's like, wait,
what is it that I'm supposed to push for?
I can't do it.
I don't understand what I'm supposed to be pushing for.
Mm-hmm.
The stay-at-home dad status?
Yeah.
And how would I do that?
Well, I think I think you would want to do. I would imagine you would want to do that. Like, who wants to work? I'll just watch the stupid kids.
No.
And then you save the childcare costs.
Yeah.
And it pencils.
Yeah, it does.
It can pencil, man. Those costs are expensive. It's easier to just have you do it.
He just can't say it publicly for the fear that his wife's listening right now.
Oh.
So that he has to do the...
Oh, my wife would love it if I were available more often.
Maybe you move somewhere a little cheaper.
Yeah, although you know what's brilliant about this is
like
that...
I said, grow your own garden.
He's going to go home.
I love that you think that is a way.
Well, you can... He's going to save you money.
He's going to do the Larry David accidental text. He's going to go home today and be like, honey, you won't even believe what they were talking about today. This is so crazy. They were talking about me being a stay-at-home dad today, about how this is the plan and how it doesn't even pencil out, and it's so ridiculous. But I was doing some math.
Just throwing it out there.
It's actually kind of about the same.
About the same.
What do you say we do it?
Yeah. This is how you start the conversation at home. You slick son of a bitch.
I'm going to miss you. I like you.
Yeah, Kaiser Sose over here. You will be missed, Buck. You'll be missed.
So the thing is, I wouldn't be the one pushing for it. My wife is already the one who's up a creek at bedtime every night, and she's like, "Yeah, it's time that we switch this thing around."
Buck's going to be knee deep in the Steve Harvey show, and The Price is Right about 10:30.
Yeah, the Drew Carey Price is Right doesn't quite do it for me the way Bob Barker did.
Boy, I couldn't do that. Be a stay-at-home dad. Oh, God.
Well, you hate kids.
Ugh. But some people are cut out for it.
Like, you throw in a couple Barney DVDs, you're living the dream.
Dude, my kid loves Barney right now, and I am so tired of that purple dinosaur.
Saw a guy who made a makeshift. He had one of those pull carts, golf carts, for his golf clubs.
Sure.
And he just had he had it attached to his baby stroller.
Oh, there you go.
So his clubs were on the back of the baby stroller, and he was just pushing the kid around
You
the
know
course.
what? I have seen some of those modified carts recently.
Yeah, they're great.
Buck's like,
I love that idea if I thought that my kid could sit through a round of golf. There's no way.
Well, you drug him up.
Yeah, I guess you could do that.
People bring their kids to jiu-jitsu, and it's weird. They just they lay out a bunch of like over by like the weights and stuff. It's like in between a weight rack and like a treadmill. They just like lay out like some toys or whatever, and they're like, it's just
people bring kids to my boxing classes too, and the kids literally hang out in the sparring ring on their iPads. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's like, hey, just sit over there in the corner.
We got the drop bracket coming up. We'll get you caught up on what's going on there. One college football team off the top rope this last weekend, and the front runner to play Bruce Springsteen in a new film. We'll get to that in the club. But right now, the Hot 5 at 5. 13.
Hot topics, hot opinions.
Oh, golly, I'm hot today.
And hot air. It's time for the Hot 5 at 5.
That's hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 on Primetime with Isaac and Sue.
No, I mean it. That's very hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 with Isaac and Sue. Brought to you on The Fan by Victorico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Online at victoricos.com. Number 5.
SMU needs a basketball coach, and apparently USC's Andy Enfield has emerged as a person of interest for the Mustangs.
Interesting.
Is it?
Yeah, like...
Hey, by the way, somebody paid me $1 on Venmo.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Did that happen a while back, too, for whatever reason?
I got like $50.
Yeah.
It's not even Isaac Ropp Day yet.
No.
Just wait till July 9th.
Yeah, tasty right there. Remember, he was a big deal for a while there. He was at Florida Gulf Coast or whatever, and then the USC tenure has been kind of...
Yeah. Former Bills cornerback Tre'Davious White intends to sign with the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay.
1 year, $8.5 million.
That's not bad.
It's a good little signing.
It's a good little signing. Yeah, I mean the injury concerns, but when healthy, one of the better corners in the NFL. A lot of people think that the days of paying the freight on the corner,
really,
maybe kind of going away.
Why?
Just the idea that that's not where people are going to allocate their resources. I mean, look at like Snead, and what he went for.
They traded him over the weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, it's the Titans.
Number 4.
Like 4th round pick, I think it was.
Well, spring training concluded today, guys. I don't know if you knew that. It's over.
Yep, it's donezo.
Down at Petco Park in San Diego, the Mariners finished with a win, 7-3. They finished 15-13 after a very poor start. So they're all set to go. Opening day, of course, is Thursday.
Yeah, right around the corner.
Well, that's like the day after tomorrow.
Again, right around the corner. Who do your Kansas City Royals open with?
My Kansas City Royals will open with the Minnesota Twins.
Okay. The Mets got an early one. I'm kind of excited. They got the 10 a.m. against the Brew Crew.
I'm mildly, please note the word mild.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mildly intrigued by the Royals this year.
Are you?
Yeah. They got a little better, got some young guys, got some pitching.
Number 3.
So I don't know. We'll see.
I think you're like,
The NFL officially adds the new kickoff rules today. They voted it in.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 1-year trial.
Yeah, much like the review pass interference system.
Yeah. So it's kind of convoluted to tell you about here in this spot, but go look up the they got the idea from the XFL.
Yes.
Go look up XFL kickoff plays, and you'll be able to see what it looks like. It's very different.
It is very, very
drastically different.
Yeah, you want to go,
No, well.
All right.
Well, you got the landing zone, which is the goal line to the 20.
Yes.
And you can kick it.
You're doing great.
And you can return it. It's wild.
More kicks are going to be returned, and it's going to be really awkward and strange for a while seeing it. Because no one's allowed to run until the ball is caught.
Yeah.
And the receiving team and the kicking team are only 5 yards apart.
Just go watch it on. It's just easier to go watch videos.
Does it feel like there's going to be one or two teams that figure out a way to master this or totally kick ass right out of the gate, and everyone else is going to be scrambling to catch up?
100%.
I think early on there will be a big
then there will be a bunch of copycats.
Yes, the tush push thing. There'll be someone, the Ravens or someone will figure
Someone's
out.
going to do something innovative.
I was watching some XFL plays, man. There were some returns to the house.
yeah,
Can you draw some stuff up?
Yes.
Well, there was some more stuff. People were saying that it encourages toss pitches and reverses
and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, different stuff.
By the way, the Steelers subsequently signed free agent kick returner Cordell Patterson.
Cordero.
I think it's Cordell, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure it's Cordero.
Yeah, screw him. The NFL.
Patterson? Man, that guy's good.
The NFL confirms 2 games will be played on Christmas this year.
The NBA somewhere is like
on Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday, yeah. The teams will have both played the previous Saturday.
Yeah, boy, you want to talk about a short turnaround. Bet on the home team on that.
Wow.
But somewhere Roger Goodell is just laughing.
Commissioner Goodell.
They will play. Think about this. Starting Christmas Day, we will have the NFL on the 25th, the 26th, the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, and then college football quarterfinals on the 31st, and then January 1st, the more college football quarterfinals.
Great week.
We are just, and the NBA. Remember when the NBA thought they were cute and they're like, oh, we're gonna own Christmas, and then football came in and just kicked it in the balls.
I mean, if anything, Goodell will tell you he's scaling back this year because last year was 3 games and this year it's only 2.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Washington State lost its basketball coach, Kyle Smith, headed to Stanford. Washington then added the sprinkler, Danny Sprinkle, to replace Mike Hopkins. Today, Washington State loses its athletic director to Washington.
Yeah.
The Huskies steal the Cougs AD, Pat Chun.
And by all accounts,
it's a 6-year deal.
This one really hurts. Chun was a very well-respected guy, made his home in the Pacific Northwest, had the old, did more with less, and unfortunately for Oregon State and Washington State, the hits just keep on coming. You can't keep good people, and I don't blame Chun, but especially for Washington State to lose their guy to your rival, that whether you believe it or not is blamed for the collapsing the Pac-12. It's just a brutal day to be a Coug.
They're saying in all 3 of his stops, Chun has raised record amounts of monies, U.S. monies.
He's very good.
He was an assistant at Ohio State, and then he went to Florida Atlantic, and then at Washington State as well. Hot 5 at 5 brought to you by Victor Rico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Order now at victorricos.com. A little more on Pat Chun, moving over to the lake. The drop bracket is coming up, and one college football team had a nice little weekend. It is 5:20 on the Fan.
The home of Dirt and Spray.
I'm Dirt. A tip of the cap to them and the program and Dante and Kuznard for just breathing some life back into it, man. The last 2 years haven't been great. The end of last year got a little ugly. You mentioned the conversations that were happening around Altman, getting them to this point, at least getting a taste of the action again. I think it has reinvigorated the fan base, and now you're excited again with a lot of
Yeah, that's got to really sting for the Cougs losing Pat Chun. Although, no one really seems to care that, and it kind of applies to Scott Barnes too at Oregon State. It just doesn't seem to stick to these ADs that they oversaw the relegation of their schools. I guess people just assume that there's nothing they could have done about it.
Nothing they could have done, yeah.
But I don't know that that's entirely true.
Well, I mean, the idea is that what doomed them, one, was poor leadership with commissioners. So if you want to blame them for backing commissioners, sure. But
there you go. That's one thing right there.
But USC blocking the addition of the Big 12 schools, USC and UCLA taking the midnight train out of town when no one saw that coming. And then, the fact that there wasn't a TV deal to be had that was worth a damn. I guess I just don't know what you wanted Oregon other than to raise your voice early on and say Larry Scott and then Kliavkoff don't know what the hell they're doing. Outside of that, I don't know what you wanted Washington State and Oregon State to do.
Well, I think
I'm very confident.
Yeah, it's just the idea that you're just reactionary and not proactive,
and the thought that you were doing enough. I mean, though, I think that if a deal gets made sooner, this doesn't necessarily fall apart the way that it does, even if you don't like the deal that you have.
But that's the problem, is that Washington State and Oregon State are the two least powerful schools in the conference.
Yeah, but I get that.
Vote.
They have 2 votes. No one was voting on that horse crap deal. Like the negative one was when they came to the table, ESPN, with the Big 12 deal, the 31 whatever million. They were doomed the moment that the school said no.
I think people just have the question, though, like, could they have looked for an out sooner than some of the other teams, like the Arizonas or something like that? And I'm not saying that they could have, and I'm not saying that they were even wanted, but those other teams who aren't great survived.
There wasn't a single conference that wanted them. Like, what do you...
Well, to
me, when I look at Washington State and what Chun did there to hire Mike Leach, to hire Kyle Smith, and when you look at their TV ratings, I'd say the same thing about Oregon State. They have built nice athletic departments there. Oregon State, with the renovation of Reeser and building very nice facilities, I think both of those schools have done a nice job considering what they've had to work with. I don't fault them. You can say that they were naive, but I would blame the entire conference. The moment you turn down ESPN's original Big 12 deal, the 30 whatever million, that was your death sentence, because it was only a matter of time before a USC or an Oregon or a Washington took the high road.
Well, it's not. Okay, so let's talk about that. There's another one. Apparently, Washington State voted against that.
Yeah.
Why are they voting against it? That's on them. And again, their one vote can't overturn it. But at the same time, do you not have the foresight to see that this is a great deal for you?
That was the one that apparently everyone, if you want to put the blame across the board, every one of those schools was led to believe that they were going to get a $50+ million payday. And that was the beginning of the end. Well, that's the Shark Tank, the overvaluation of your product. And if you want to be critical for that, sure. But I think that Chun especially has done a really nice job and has a very good track record. And I think talking to people, Washington's very happy that they got their guy. And
well, it sounds like he's a good fundraiser.
He's a good fundraiser.
That of course translates. I mean,
and that's massive in the NIL era.
Yes.
I mean, it's so huge. The whole reason that Oregon hired Pat Kilkenny to be their AD temporarily was because he could raise money for Matthew Knight Arena. I mean, people make moves for that reason alone, and he can get that done.
100%. I'm not saying it's a bad hire. I just am a little. It's just a little perplexing to me that Oregon State and Washington State are basically doomed for the next couple of years, and not a head will roll. As a matter of fact, all the people that oversaw it, everybody loves them.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Strange.
It's like nobody saw any of it coming. I mean, at one time, somebody wanted Maryland and Rutgers.
I think USC saw it.
So the timing,
so did Oregon and Washington, which is why they got the hell out of town.
Well, and that goes back to Buck's point of, and again, it's hard to be critical of them for this but it's another in a long line of why weren't you thinking differently?
Yeah, it's hard to know if anything could have been done, but should there have been an attempt or an effort?
And again,
you're Oregon State and Washington State. Yeah. You're at the bottom of the totem pole. Yeah. We even you and I saw this, and we've been saying this for years through all this realignment, that the schools that are going to get screwed are the schools that are not proactive, or the conferences that are going to get screwed are the conferences that are not proactive. If you're Oregon State and Maryland was proactive, Rutgers was proactive. There's a lot of other crappier schools than Oregon State and Washington State that were proactive, and they found a home. Oregon State and Washington State ended up getting left behind because they just sat there.
I do think that
they were the last two out.
And I understand that, but I think the difference between the Rutgers and the Maryland is where they're at. Unfortunately, I think you had a lot working against you for Oregon State and Washington State. And I think that they kind of got left hung out to dry. And while I totally get where you're coming from, I don't think many people, and this is naive on a lot of people's parts, just believe that the collapse of the Pac-12 could be a real thing. And
well, that's their job. These guys get paid a lot of money.
106 years of a conference going away. No one really believed it. And well,
these guys
now
and that's fine for all of us. But if you're one of those 12 who's sitting atop of the mountain,
you're in trouble.
Yeah.
The whole league is gone.
Yes.
And all these people are lauded. It's weird. And now I get it. ADs are different than presidents. And apparently this Washington State president, he's another one. Yeah. This Kirk Scholes guy. Yeah. He seems like a boob to me. I don't know. I'm not on the inside of it, but maybe he's more of a culprit than Chun. Maybe the ADs are a little too lower level here when it comes to all this realignment stuff.
I think the university presidents, if you're passing blame, the university presidents are certainly above the ADs.
Well, they are above the ADs, but can't the? I mean, if the AD is smart, he's influencing his president. He's getting his president to do what he thinks is best for his athletic program. I don't know.
He's making sure the president understands how dire this situation is and that something has to be done.
And it sounds like it's just weird. Like you wonder if, and these are all things like you just will never know unless somebody spills the beans down the road. But you wonder if Oregon State or Washington State ever had any Big 12 overtures way before. Remember that when the Big 12 was desperate?
Yeah.
And the Big 12 we thought was dead.
Yeah.
And
although to be
Oklahoma
fair,
and Texas left.
If you're Oregon State and Washington State, the Big 12 was on its last breath.
Right.
So leaving your stable conference at the time wouldn't have made sense.
The one that really is the screw job in all this is USC, because at that point the Pac-12 tried to kill the Big 12 and come in and take the good Big 12 schools, right? They would have gotten Kansas, they would have gotten Oklahoma State, they would have gotten Texas Tech, and they were going to become a super conference, and it would have killed the Big 12 and ensured the survival of the Pac-12. And freaking USC said no, said we're not doing that, rallied the troops against it, and then 2 years later led the exodus. That's the one. That's the one that if you really want to say F you to someone, that move right there.
I also find it somewhat hard to believe that no one saw that coming from USC and UCLA. Yeah. No one. They blindsided the whole league. How far up your ass is your head?
Yeah.
Especially after what happened with Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I mean, who is paying attention?
I don't know. Apparently not enough people. And now here we are. So,
and yet all these people still have their jobs. Has anybody lost their job over any of the things that happened in the Pac-2?
Kliavkoff.
Or Pac-12?
he got canned.
Well, I guess he did.
Yeah, he got canned.
Yeah.
Other than that,
there's your fall guy.
Yeah. I mean, Pat Chun just lost his job. Good thing he found another one.
Now, that's the other thing. If you're a Coug, man, you got to feel demoralized because it's not that Pat Chun left. It's that he left for Washington. Yeah. You can't be doing that.
So, you got dickered and you don't know how that's going to go. It didn't end well last year. You lose your quarterback, and then your basketball coach, who was a really good hire that had you back in the tournament, he leaves you for Stanford of all places, who was another school that was left behind, and now your AD bails on you. And it's just bad. And we'll see. Oregon State fans seems to have, at least temporarily, steadied their ship, at least when it comes to football, and there's hope and optimism. But we'll see what happens next year. I think Oregon State fan thinks that this team is going to go into next year and win like 10 and 11 games. And, you heard it here first. I think there's some trouble brewing down in Corvallis. look, and it's just little rumors and whispers, but like it's maybe not off to the
What
best,
are you talking about?
the best start with their football staff and their football program. That it's very early on. There's just not necessarily a big ringing endorsement that people think that this program is just like going to bounce back.
So no one likes Trent Bray? Is that what you're saying?
You're hearing some stuff that maybe it's not all razzleberry, frogurt, and scones early on with the new staff, but it's early.
Oh, great.
It's early. So,
and I guess Scott Barnes will probably turn that into a raise too, huh? God.
We'll see.
God dang, what do you think?
The next 2 years are going to be...
I want to be an AD.
You really got to get through some stuff. And then hopefully, ACC or Big 12, you got to find a landing spot. You got 2 years, because if you don't find a landing spot after that, you're cooked.
If Oregon State's staff doesn't work out, Trent Bray doesn't work out, Scott Barnes needs to go.
Yes. I think that's a fair statement.
I think he already needs to go, but...
Man, just hold on to be a baseball school, right? Just... Hey, you are a baseball
Save your
school.
job with a College World Series win?
Hell yeah.
He hired Canham, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Good hire.
Just go with that, man. Be like,
and Ruick.
Hey, we got the Tinkle. Yeah, you're a girl basketball coach.
Although I don't think he hired Ruick, did he? I'm not
that was
sure
probably
when he
before his time. But look, just hold on to the baseball program. Like you're
what
killing
a mess.
it right now.
Damn mess, Jace. I kind of feel for the Cougs.
I do. I feel for both.
Losing their AD.
Yeah, it's
like that
it's
to their rival. All right, one college football team off the top rope over the weekend. We'll get to that next. But first, Buck with Sports Center. How far up your ass is your head?
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center up.
one school, former Pac-12 school, by the way, now in the Big Ten, Division I football. They had a big weekend.
Yeah, they did. And there's a reason why.
All of a sudden, USC landed 5 big-time recruits in one day.
How many was that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The number of those recruits, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. So 5-star quarterback Juju Lewis committed to USC. I can't remember what day it was, Saturday or Sunday. He is at a high school in the state of Georgia, which makes it even more interesting. Then a defensive lineman who is a 5-star kid by the name of Justice Terry flipped. He is also from Georgia and had committed to Georgia, but he flips from the Bulldogs to USC.
Yeah.
Both 5 stars. 4-star edge Isaiah Gibson commits to USC over Georgia and Oregon. And then 4-star safety Hilton Stubbs commits. He's from Jacksonville, Florida. And he commits to USC over Florida, Florida State, and Miami.
I also read, and I'm sure this has no coincidence whatsoever, but I read an article this weekend about how USC's NIL collective has really kicked into gear, and they are working with 3 times the budget that they had last year.
I wonder how they did that.
I don't know. Look, obviously they got
they got enough money there.
Well, yeah.
So how is it they just now fattened up their NIL?
I just think it's kind of adorable that like people are like, oh, Lincoln Riley on the recruiting trail. Yes, but at the same time, is it possible that you just, again, are working with 3 times the amount of money? And USC is an attractive program in L.A., and when you're able to pay kids the going rate, you land them.
The other thing here is that Lincoln Riley hired a defensive line coach by the name of Eric Henderson.
Yeah.
And Eric Henderson, I guess, is he's just a hammer recruiter. He's friends with Aaron Donald, and everyone wants to play for Henderson because they're back to touting that, hey, you want to play in the NFL, you come play for me.
And they got Anthony.
And there was another guy. Sorry, there was the 5th recruit. He's a 3-star kid, but his name is Gus Cordova. He is also a defensive lineman, and he committed to USC from a high school in Austin, and he chose USC over Texas A&M and Oregon. They called him the 4th best defensive lineman in the state of Texas.
And they got the defense coordinator Lynn from Anthony Lynn's kid from UCLA, who people are really high on. Again, a really good recruiter. And supposedly Lincoln Riley is telling people that there's wholesale changes coming, that he has given his defensive coordinator carte blanche, do what you want, and they're determined to build a defensive juggernaut down there, kind of like obviously what Lanning's trying to do up there. When he got to Oregon, he put an emphasis on getting better up front, and Lincoln Riley apparently has woken up and especially going into the Big Ten, hey, we better get a lot better on that side of the ball, because you had a Heisman Trophy winner, supposedly the best player in college football, and you won 7 games because you couldn't stop a nosebleed. So someone got into the USC boosters' ears and was like, hey, we need more money and we need a defensive coordinator. And here you go. Maybe this is the start of something down at USC.
Now, these are all 2025 commits. So there's a long way to go before signing day.
Yeah.
As you know, pretty much anything goes now. So you never know.
These are all just verbal commitments.
But the USC class is now ranked 3rd nationally and number 2 in the Big Ten, all because of one big day over the weekend.
Yeah. So now someone just needs to come up with more money to pry him away, and
Yeah, something tells me with Juju Lewis, Justice Terry, and I think Isaiah Gibson is also from Georgia.
Yeah.
Something tells me you have not heard the last of Georgia here.
Yeah. Yeah, Georgia's not going to take this line down.
Kirby Smart has steam coming out of his ears. You know he does right now, based off of this.
This is just big time college football now. But it does feel like, there's always been flip flops, but it feels now, especially early on in this process, that more so than ever this is happening, because NILs are promising kids one thing, and then sometimes they don't deliver, and other people can, you see what the going rate is, you can come up with more. And, like you said, a lot can happen between now and then.
Yeah, somebody text the Vancouver Ford text line. Yeah, wait until they go 7-5 next year in the Big Ten and those recruits are in the portal.
Well, and someone said
they wouldn't be in the portal. They would just decommit.
Yeah, decommit.
Because, again, they wouldn't play till 2025.
Yeah. Someone said the old heads at SC did not think they needed to pay to get out-of-state kids. They were only paying in-state. Like, that whole idea of you don't have to pay kids, boy,
why would you have to pay in-state only? That's kind of dumb.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Like
you have a beat on the in-state kids already, or at least you should.
Well, like that supposedly that was Washington's whole MO though, is they didn't want to pay kids to come. They were like, no, come here, and then if you perform, we'll pay you.
Nice plan. Whose plan was that? Was that Cohen? Was that? It's not DeBoer.
That was their. Well, that was part of the. I guess part of the problem up there. You know, when DeBoer was.
Who makes these decisions? How far up their ass is their head? How far up your ass is your head?
That was supposedly one of the problems when DeBoer, even when he was winning, they weren't lighting the world on fire with recruiting. And one of the things was they didn't want to pay kids to go there. That was the idea of we'll take care of our own, but we're not going to get into this whole pay for play thing. And the rest of the country was looking at him like, what? By the way, when DeBoer got to Alabama, that sure changed real fast.
What
exactly.
are you talking about, man?
Come on, man.
Dude, there's a going rate now. I mean, shoot, half of these schools have universal income now.
Yeah, there's a going rate, and you would think that the AD and the coach would know that.
Yeah. You could do the Chip Kelly method and just get bitter and then not recruit anybody.
The best part of football is football. And so you got to do football.
You got to do football.
I love, by the way, and it's a sneaky little FU, that when they tried to fire Chip Kelly and then he won and they brought him back, he just decided to not recruit. He was like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. I'm not bringing in a single GD player. Screw you.
Well, I tell you,
I'm out of here.
Is he just a great example of you just, like, think back to when he first started at Oregon.
Yeah.
And look at his career arc.
Mm-hmm.
He is just the shining example of you can't predict any of this stuff.
No.
And maybe that exonerates the great Pat Chun and Scott Barnes or whatever. Maybe so. But just, if I told you what would happen to Chip Kelly's career,
would have never believed
during Oregon's national title run.
You guys shut up.
No.
You'd have been like, Rob, you are an idiot. Well, we know I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
But you would
double idiot.
Yeah, you're just like, oh my God, shut up. No. Stop talking.
Well,
how far up your ass is your head? How far up your ass is your head?
What if I would have told you 10 years ago that the Pac-12 is dead, like it doesn't exist anymore, and that Stanford and Cal are in the ACC? You want to talk about your head being up your ass?
I'm very confident.
Yeah.
It's
What's the bigger shocker?
The conference being dead. I mean, nothing says Pac-12, because the Pac-12 always was like, well, we swim and run real well. That's Cal and Stanford. It's a bunch of pompous West Coast schools that tout sports that no one cares about in academics.
Which is why, that's right there is why it's maybe not as big of a shock as it should be.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Because they've always had
and the landscape
way bigger bravado than actually than substance when it came to,
and as the
money increased.
And it became about one thing and one thing only,
they
football.
Just stayed in that little swimming pool that they like to swim around in and
they
pat themselves on the back.
They love to tell you about their Olympic championships and their crew teams and whatnot. Meanwhile, the South was laughing at you, being like, yeah, we play football.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get USC and UCLA to the Big Ten. Thank you.
And bye.
And the whole thing crumbles.
Yep.
But give Scott Barnes a raise.
Well, Pat Chun, too. He got a raise and got to move to Seattle.
Let's get to the drop bracket. The first round is complete. Next on The Fan.
It's time for a Ducks Report, the inside story on Oregon athletics. Brought to you by Mods PDX. The future of building is here.
Well, gentlemen, usually when we have a recruiting report here, it's good news. But today, the Ducks have lost a commitment from wide receiver Adrian Wilson. He says he's reopening his commitment. He is a four-star. He's the number 15 receiver in his class.
He sucked anyway.
He had been committed to TCU, then flipped to Oregon. Now he's open again.
Hey, let's give him some more money.
No,
that might just be it.
You don't want him.
Yeah, you're over him.
He's got a bad family.
Move on. Didn't want him in the first place.
Actually, in his statement, he says he is looking for a school that he can call his home away from home, and that's a true extension of his family and is committed to him.
Oh, get out of here. We didn't want you anyway. Mods PDX. Why am I talking like an Oregon fan? I don't care.
You honk.
Go to Kansas. Souk drop bracket. It is available for you at 1080thefan.com. The first round is complete. It is brought to you by George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law. Now, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get drops to put on T-shirts. So the winners of each regional will be made into T-shirts for you guys to buy and wear and all that stuff. Okay. So there were 32 drops originally. We are now down to 16. The final first-round results were as follows, and these were voted upon by you on Twitter.
You, the people.
So we had, let's see if I can find these here.
Searching.
We had, in the ROP Regional, the final 2 first-round matchups were Malicious Fecal Distribution.
This is Malicious Fecal Distribution.
Going up against the classic Chip Kelly.
Can you guys shut up?
And as you would expect, 60% advanced Chuck Kelly.
Yeah.
Can you guys shut up?
It's a classic.
It moves on.
Still not even his best one.
Which one do you like? This one more?
Hey, will you shut up?
I like football is football.
Oh.
And you have to do football.
I think that
The
was
best part of football is football. And so you got to do football.
That was a late ad, though. I don't
I
think
know.
that was available for the committee.
We have had some late ads recently.
But
Dude, we've had some great late ads.
It's been
I
fit.
think. What do you think?
Come on, football. The best part of football is football, and so you have to do football. I'm sorry,
It's great.
It's genius.
It is genius. Okay, so then the other, the very last one in the ROP Regional was the matchup was "Come on, you dumbass, eat me." Come on, you dumbass, eat me. Which I enjoyed, but we also had "What It Do." Hey, what it do?
You know, the What It Do is a classic. I mean, come on.
59%. What It Do advances.
What it do?
So the ROP Regional is complete with the following drops. Okay, we have this advancing to the sexy 16. Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, because we can't say the other.
Yeah.
So
we have this.
Come on, Rob!
That's in there. We have.
by the way, sometimes I have to think about what would look good on a shirt.
Yeah.
And come on, Rob, that's pretty good on a T-shirt.
Juicy for Rob's better.
Well, that's the best one. It's the best thing we've ever done.
What else do we have? Well, we didn't do any of it. That was.
Well, that's true.
The listener made that.
Listener made it. Yeah, a listener made 2 Juicy for Rob shirts, and they're fantastic. Although I'd like to see the Juicy for Rob in like some sort of cocktail neon pink, like outside.
Well, that's what the ones that we made at our house were pink.
Yeah, they need to. There needs to be some Tom Cruise bling to that.
Okay, this advanced. Rocking you on a Friday. Why did I say that? I feel like that one could go deep.
Yeah.
Also in the ROP Regional, advancing to the next round.
What an exciting time.
Lane Kiffin.
Look, I'll tell you what. At this point in the game, there's no easy outs.
Although I don't know. I don't know how much further Lane is going to get.
Well, because when you lose the context, when you lose his voice and you just put it out there, it does lose a little something.
Then we have the Dave Bartu, Rop is an idiot.
Rop is an idiot.
That advanced. And one of my personal favorites, even though it's my own works.
No.
Should I go right? Should I go left? Damn it. How do I get in that little girl's toilet?
I'm not going to lie.
That's a great one.
From the ROP Regional, why I am the What It Do, that's near and dear to my heart. It's how we open the show. The best drop is the little girl's toilet.
It's great.
That's greatness.
So those, and Boner's Rewards advanced too.
Yeah.
So those are the drops advancing in the ROP Regional. And then in the Souk Regional, the final first round matchups were I would like to know things.
I would like to know things.
I do like that one.
Versus they just sit there and pound you.
They just sit there and pound you.
And this was a landslide. As a matter of fact, this was the biggest blowout in the first round.
Yeah.
I would like to know things.
I would like to know things.
80%.
Yeah, I like it.
So that advances. And then you had Roster Boner.
And then a Roster Boner.
Which I thought was a very weak entry by the committee.
Yeah, and yet, you know.
And it goes up against Ahoy.
Ahoy!
No, you're not beating
No
that.
chance.
No, I mean,
Ahoy wins 70% to 30%. So that means that the Souk Regional is complete with the following drops. Ahoy.
Ahoy!
I would like to know things.
I would like to know things.
Sports is sports.
Sports is sports.
Football is football.
Football's football.
My son is an idiot.
No,
My son is an idiot.
That's going to be sneaky.
That's pretty good
Yes.
because on a shirt that looks great.
Solid. A lot of people, I think, will like the "My Son's an Idiot" shirt.
It's thick, it's meaty, which I don't think I have that one. The era has become.
The era has become.
Pretty good.
That's also a good T-shirt.
Yeah.
And then we have now if this is made into a T-shirt, it would certainly be an inside joke, but it's one of my favorites.
Yes, this is wonderful.
Golf.
Suk saying the game of golf and Jared Goff.
I love the idea of just having golf, comma golf.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or if we do the T-shirt, would we put GOLF, comma GOLF, or would we put GOLF, comma capital GOFF?
I had this exact discourse with someone from our company wanting to update the bracket online. They weren't sure if it should read golf or if it should read golf.
Look, I'll tell you how it sounds.
I think it should read golf.
Golf.
You wouldn't know it there.
I had to explain it gets pronounced golf, but what it really is golf.
Yeah.
Good times.
I think there are some people that are going to look at this and scoff.
So there you go. The whole bracket can be viewed at 1080thefan.com. Now, on Thursday when we're out at X Golf Tualatin, and then on Friday at X Golf Vancouver, we will fill you in on the next round.
Yeah,
we're gonna put up the polls. 4 of them will go up since there's only 8 games. 4 of them will go up Thursday, and 4 of them will go up Friday.
We'll see what happens.
And then from there, we'll have a final 4.
And then a champion will be crowned, and commerce will happen.
All right, who is the front runner to play Bruce Springsteen in a new film? We'll get to that next. Kick off the club on The Fan.
Hey, it's Suk. Vulcan Design and Construction helped me turn my backyard into a true outdoor living space. Now the area I used a few times a year is my favorite place to hang out year-round. To check out their award-winning designs for yourself or to book your free consultation, go to vulcandc.com.
If you're a pro and flooring is your game, we'll help you win it. Because at LL Flooring, all we do
Be a real.
I couldn't bend my arms.
Couldn't bend my arms. I'm Jason Sakanik. My penis is very, very important to me. It serves many functions in my life. My grandfather loved his penis as well. You know, or was it his father? Isn't it Winkler's father-in-law?
I'm Henry Winkler.
Right.
My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room.
He didn't like him.
How great would it be to be like?
No, he always lit up a room.
My father-in-law's penis lit up a room wherever he went. I loved him dearly and his penis. You know, it's just such a weird commercial, but an important disease to know about. So don't go blind, people. It's great. And by the way, Vancouver 4 text line, that Gus Cordero, or is it Cordero kid? Cordova. I guess he almost killed a teammate. I looked it up. He had a teammate in high school that had a severe peanut allergy and told people that like he could die. And Gus and another teammate rubbed him all over the kid's uniform and put him in his cleats and then filmed it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Like, and then the kid had to transfer because, like, everyone was making fun of him for snitching. Yeah, he snitched because they tried to kill him. Of course, he's just saying it was a prank gone wrong. Hilarious. Hey, I have a peanut allergy that could kill me. I got an idea. Let's rub a bunch of peanuts all over you.
So Bruce Springsteen is a part. Well, he is actively involved in this project, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a new movie. There's a film that's coming out, and it's going to be about the making of Nebraska.
Yeah.
And it's called Deliver Me From Nowhere, and it will be filmed this fall in New Jersey. Now, the boss. Did you say that on the air, the Tilda Swinton thing?
Ooh, I don't know if I said. I don't know. It was right. It was right either before we hit break or after.
Buckley has thrown me into a tizzy here.
Yeah, you don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do with this, but I teased by saying, you know, hey, we'll come back and we'll find out who is the front runner to play Bruce Springsteen in this film. And so I think it was off the air. He said, "Is it Tilda Swinton?" I'm like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. So I Googled Tilda Swinton and Bruce Springsteen. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
A recent photo of him and a recent photo of her look awfully alike.
It's one photo of him, to be fair, but it's just...
Yep. I mean...
It's shocking.
If someone were to play Bruce Springsteen, it's her. And by the way, my theory on Asian rock stars becoming middle-aged lesbians, I'm telling you, it's undefeated. Because she is a lesbian... And apparently Bruce Springsteen is turning into her.
But he doesn't really look like her. It's just...
He doesn't?
No, I don't think he does. I think it's that one photo. It just happens to be... Because he looks really skinny, and, you know, he was just sick, and he just came back. So
he's showing a lot of cleavage, too.
Yeah, and
it does look like he's got a little something going on there.
And it's just the way his face and hair look in that photo. Like, if you look at current...
One might say middle-aged lesbian?
Well, for sure in the photo, but if you look at current photos of him, that's not really what he looks like. He's very manly still, sort of.
This is how it starts. You don't just become a middle-aged lesbian overnight.
I will say
it's a work in progress.
He is looking really old. He also kind of looks like he's got a little Robert De Niro in him.
I can see that. I can see a little De Niro. Now the question becomes, is Robert De Niro starting to look like a middle-aged lesbian? Because Al Pacino is.
I saw an interview with De Niro the other day, and he does not look like a middle-aged lesbian. He just looks like an old grandpa.
Did you see him with his kid?
No.
I did.
De Niro?
There's a photo. De Niro's like 80-something. There's a photo of him and his family, or his new family, his wife. He's got like a young Asian wife, and then like their kid. Oh, my God. He's going to be dead before that kid's out of diapers.
I see it here.
It is the damnedest thing.
Well, it's just... He looks like Grandpa.
Yeah. And who else? Someone else did that too. Pacino? Did they both do it? Yeah.
And did you see Pacino at the Oscars? Like he came out to deliver the best Oscar, and he totally butchered it. And he had no idea where he's at. He's just shuffling around. He is becoming a middle-aged lesbian, a confused one at that. It's a whole thing. And
what's his deal? Is he sick or something?
He's just old.
He's older than De Niro, isn't he?
I think he's older. Yeah, he's 83.
How old's Bob?
I think he's 80. But both of them,
he's 80.
Both of them have like little kids, like babies.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember talking about that here on the broadcast.
Can you? I mean, is that even fair to the kid? Like you grow up and you're like, where's your dad? And they're like, I don't know.
Maybe his other kids can be his dad. You know,
Billy Joel's got a couple of like kids that are like 6 and 8,
and you get a bunch of money and stuff. You know, it's a good life. Come on, that's a good life.
How much money would you have to trade for a fatherless childhood?
Well,
you know,
that's not fair.
Well,
I have a great father.
Well, I'm asking. Put a number on it, Rob. Because that's
not
what you.
Fair.
Well,
I can't do that.
You're the one.
Because I know my father. Now, if you said a baby of an 80-something-year-old movie star, I'd be inclined to take the dough. You're probably not going to do much fathering anyway.
Well, I often see this where they say that like love is the most important thing in the world, and then
no, it isn't.
That's kind of my thing because we all see it where like, God, this is going to sound so insensitive, but I think about it all the time because they're so unconvincing in the press conference, like. A family member dies because of like some sort of like a Walmart truck runs them over or like an Amazon plane like hits them on a runway. There's some sort of big corporation involved, and then there's like the lawsuit, and then they don't want. They drop the lawsuit for like a $70 million settlement, and then like they go in the press conference and it's like, you know, my Uncle Gene was the most important thing in the world for me, and nothing will bring her back. But this $70 million settlement is going to go a long way. It's going to go a long way. And I would love to know to that family, how much was Uncle Gene worth or Sister Gene or whatever relative? 70 million? 80 million? I think there's a number there for a lot of people that they're not willing to talk about. But at the end of the day, they're like, yeah, that sure was sad when Grandpa went. But 70 million, and how long was Grandpa living anyways? I think there's a sliding scale for a lot of people on what family member they would be willing to give up for a certain amount of money.
Yeah, that's probably true.
You got an aunt you're willing to cut loose, Rob?
Not many people left in my fam. There's a lot of the deads.
Is that up the price, or does that lower the price? You're like, well, I've lost him anyways. And does age have something to do with it too? You don't want to cut someone down in the prime of their life, but you know. You gotta.
Yeah, I think the number goes up the younger they are, right?
Yeah, I would assume, right? But according to you, you're like, I'll make that trade-off. An aging Robert De Niro, and that kid's gonna walk away with $100 million.
Exactly. And by the way, his wife, you said, is some young lady or something. She'll find another dude, and the kid will probably have a better dad than his dad, and get a bunch of money.
Yeah,
it's a good deal.
Taking one for the team. Thanks, Uncle Gene. Another person in $20 million. I think $20 million, honestly, I think that gets
for what?
For people cutting.
So you're gonna off your dad for $20 million?
I think a lot of people are offing a parent for $20 million. You don't have to do it personally. You're just like, look, something's gonna happen, but you're getting $20 million. I think people are like behind the scenes. If they're being honest, they're like, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
I'll flip the question on you then.
Yeah.
You have 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
They each get $20 million.
I'm gone tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, good for you.
You could take me. I've had a good run. Do I get at least one good, like, I get a day where I get to just...
I'll give you a day, sure.
Give me a day.
Yeah, you can have a day.
Give me a day.
What are you going to do?
Everything. By the way, I'm not getting to the end of that day. I'm going out on my own terms. $20 million for my kids, generational wealth.
Each.
Yeah, so none of their kids,
you die tomorrow.
No one has to worry about anything. I'll take that for the team. I'll take that. And here's the thing. My kids would be like, no, Dad, we love you. But deep down, they'd be like,
this is great.
Thanks, Dad. They'd be sad.
Yeah.
They'd be sad.
This money's way better than you.
But at the end of the day, I think they'd be like, thanks. I think that they would appreciate the sacrifice.
They should.
Yeah. Those ungrateful sons of bitches.
With that money, it better get you a damn cool tombstone.
You give me like a cool, like
bury in one of those cool stone
Give you a
houses.
mausoleum?
Yeah, mausoleum.
Yeah, mausoleum. That's what they're called.
Once a year on
Put
my
me in there.
birthday, throw a big party and I don't know.
But leave me alone. Don't come visit me.
Name a boat after me or something. Something cool. Maybe a grandkid. The first grandkid. Name him after me. It's all right.
All right. So do you know who the front runner is to play the Spruce Bruce Springsteen in this film?
I thought it was Tilda Swinton, but apparently not.
It is not Tilda Swinton.
Who's the Dune kid? The Timothy
Chalamet?
Yeah, he's playing Bob Dylan.
Is he?
Yeah, I saw.
He looks like Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I saw some photos of him on set, and he looks. They're filming that right now. I saw that today. He looks pretty good.
I'm going to take a shot and say the kid from The Bear, Jeremy Allen White.
That's correct.
Is that right?
That is right.
Oh!
Yeah.
You nailed it, sir. Jeremy Allen White.
I can see it.
Well, he looks like him, yeah.
See, I always think he looks like young Willy Wonka.
People have said the Gene Wilder thing for sure.
Like if Willy Wonka got on roids and smoked a lot of cigarettes, there would be there's a real resemblance there.
So he's in The Bear. He was in Shameless. He played Lip.
Yeah, he's great.
In Shameless. He is great.
I like that. The Bear's a great show. Are they bringing
It's
that
Carmy in The Bear. Yeah, I think they just finished shooting season 3, I read.
Or
they started shooting it.
Well, I think they said that they were going to try to have them shoot season 3 and 4 at the same time because they're in Chicago shooting right now, I think. So,
but the Springsteen one's not going to. It's going to be.
They don't
about
shoot till the fall.
It's going to be about the making of Nebraska. So
Yeah.
we don't get peak.
No.
I don't get peak like Born in the USA, Bruce.
Yeah, not in love with that either because Nebraska to me, it's just not. It's not one of. I don't know. I know it's early Bruce, but it's not the best Bruce to me.
When I think of, and maybe this is just my age, right? But when I think of Bruce, like peak Bruce is red headband, sleeveless jean jacket, leather.
exactly.
It's that. I mean, that's Bruce. If you're gonna make a movie, you make that movie, right?
Well, not this one. This one's only about Nebraska.
Yeah, and I don't mind Nebraska.
Which came out in 1982.
Yeah, it's a fine album, but it's really like Atlantic City. That's
I can't name one song off that album.
No, but it's got Nebraska, Atlantic City.
Well, I knew Nebraska was on it, but I just mean like there's no hit.
No, it's
Nebraska wasn't a hit.
It's more of a deep album cut. I don't know if any of those are like when you think of Bruce's like. For instance, I'll look it up because he put out his greatest hits, right? Which, by the way, is a really good greatest hits album if you're looking for one of those. And I don't know if on that greatest hits album, I don't know what's on there from Nebraska. Atlantic City's on there. So Atlantic City's on there, and that's it. Yeah, I just don't think it's no. It just seems like an odd one to pick unless you're just talking about kind of the evolution of Bruce. Maybe it was an interesting time in his life, and so you go with that.
Are we all in agreement that Born to Run is his best album?
Yeah, you're probably not going to get many arguments from there.
Come on. That's best Bruce, right?
I would think so. And you may get some people that are going to say Born in the USA, which was the biggest album.
Yeah, I don't think that's his best, though.
But, yeah, you're probably not going to get any real arguments there. Rolling Stone, according to Rolling Stone, which we often say is the...
they know what they're talking about.
They know what they're talking about, right?
What do they have?
Can I say about Rolling Stone, whenever you go there, the freaking pop-up ads, you sons of bitches. Drives me freaking crazy. They are going, Born to Run.
Yeah. Where is Born in the USA, though? On that?
They went Born in the USA number 4.
What's 2?
Number 2, sorry, they went with Darkness on the Edge of Town and then The River.
Oh, yeah, okay. And then The River, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, come on. No one's going to argue with Born to Run.
All right. I've got more TV news.
Also, Tunnel of Love, sneaky good Bruce Springsteen album.
Tunnel of Love. What was on that?
Tunnel of Love has like Tougher Than the Rest is probably my favorite off of that, and it's a little further on When did Tunnel of Love come out? I'll pull this up. Where did that come up? Bloop, bloop, bloop. I want to see it because I'll bet you that is way older than I think it is.
Is it from the 90s?
Because I'm that old.
It's probably not from the 90s.
It always bothers me when... for God bless America. Yeah, it's 1987.
Oh.
Boy, I thought that was... I would have thought that was like mid-90s. Gee. Tougher than the rest, brilliant disguise. One step up.
All right, coming up next, I have more TV news. We take a break. It is 6:21 on The Fan.
I'm Jason Sakanik. My penis is very, very important to me.
Yeah.
The home of Dirt and Spray.
I'm Dirt.
NFL owners have approved the rule to ban the hip drop tackle. It's becoming increasingly difficult to tackle players. It's not that you can't do it. It's just a lot of these, I think, happen in the positioning. It's probably the right move. They did this with the horse collar, but it's just defensive guys, again, another thing you can't do. It's unbelievable of like, what do you
At least his plane has, but
Does it count if his lawyers speak?
no.
No, I mean, like, do we
Okay.
see a video of him? Do we see him get in front of a microphone anywhere?
Okay.
Like,
I
for
wanna say,
real?
does he put his feet on U.S. soil?
Yeah?
Okay, so then I'm still good because I don't think we'll hear from him. But his lawyers have put out a statement.
Oh.
Would you like me to read it to you?
Please.
Okay, this is the statement from Aaron Dyer, who is P. Diddy's attorney. Yesterday, there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. There is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. Mr. Combs was never detained, but spoke to and cooperated with authorities. Despite media speculation, neither Mr. Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way. This unprecedented ambush, paired with an advanced, coordinated media presence, leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs and is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. There has been no findings of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name.
So, according to them, he's A-OK. We'll see.
So that doesn't count that P. Diddy is out.
No. Again, we'll see what's up. I do find it interesting that anytime someone's house is raided, then it's some sort of gross overreach.
Witch hunt. We like to use that one now, too.
Yeah.
Witch hunt.
Yeah. Last time I checked,
No basis to it whatsoever.
when the FBI shows up at your door, that's usually not a good thing. But anytime it happens now, this is ridiculous. Had they just shown up, we would have given them everything. Do they not understand that that's what a search warrant is, so that they can search for things before you have a chance to destroy them?
I did see the photos of the ransacked home of one Sean Combs.
Yeah. Nice place, I'm sure.
You know.
Oh, poo-pooing Diddy's spot.
No, I mean, it's not.
You're giving it two thumbs,
I mean,
man?
it's fine.
Really? You're going meh?
Well, have you seen the photos?
I mean, I guess not really.
You either have or you haven't.
I mean, I saw
thinking about
I
it?
saw them raiding, but I guess I
There
didn't
are
pay much.
photos of the remnants of them having raided his home. So they go through drawers and
I
traps
just saw
everywhere.
I just saw the outside, like when they were like getting ready to come in. I saw the boys being led away.
I tell you what
3 hours ago, TMZ posted
Yeah.
inside photos of the
inside
home.
photos. I tell you what it looks like. It looks like, and that was probably the Miami home. It looks like he bought that 20 years ago and hasn't changed a thing. And it's nice. It's nice. I mean, it's not like Drake's house. Have you seen Drake's house?
Drake's house is ridiculous.
Dude, it is pimp.
Yeah.
So I would have thought maybe Combs. You know.
So you thought it should be a little bit nicer, huh? Like you don't like. I'm seeing here, the mini fridge.
Yeah, it's like.
Well, it's
pretty basic.
I don't feel like they trashed it. I feel like the house was in a little disrepair. Although some of that stuff is, it's been gone through a little bit.
I like to look at what's on people's nightstands.
Yeah.
They have a picture of his nightstand in there.
What's the most interesting thing on your nightstand?
Interesting?
Yeah.
Well, there's probably nothing.
Nothing?
Interesting. I keep my nightstand nice and tidy. Now, my wife's is a mess.
I can see that. Well, I think that's a lot of households.
But I've got Kleenex and what's the other thing on there? Oh, one of those little, those little fragrance things with sticks that come out of them?
Yeah.
The wood.
Yeah, little oil diffuser things.
Yeah, oil diffuser. That's right.
Yeah.
What scent are you rocking in there?
That's the. It's called.
This house is really white.
It's called. I forget, but it's from the Wynn. It's a really good smell. And then there's a lamp.
I love lamp.
And in the drawer, Jace.
Mm-hmm.
Gummies.
Yeah, you like the sleep gummies?
I do.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen these inside photos. It's very disorganized.
Well, they ransacked it.
I know, but
they're looking for stuff.
But even before the ransacking, like the way he's keeping his shoes and stuff, it's.
Well, how do you know that wasn't? I don't know. It might have been all put together. I don't think you can tell who did what.
Some of these doors are kicked down.
Yeah,
knocked a couple things off the hinges, and
I don't think they mess around when they go in there.
No, this wasn't a knock and would you let us in. This is a we're taking this place by force.
They got a couple safes cracked open. I see some Grammys.
Oh.
Yeah, there's 3 Grammys, and the outside of the home looks way better. When you look at the outside of the house, like
I haven't
the photo,
seen it. Is this the Miami home?
The Miami home. It can be a little tacky, but it looks pretty nice. Now the Los Angeles home, that's beautiful. It's got a lot of homes. That one in LA looks like an Oprah type pad. That thing's enormous.
In one other television note, I wanted to point out to you guys that season 2 of House of the Dragon,
dude, that show sucks,
is headed to Max.
Yeah, I never even watched season 1 of it.
You don't need to.
On June 16th.
You want to talk about something riding the coattails? If that hadn't had Game of Thrones on it, I would have stopped watching that thing after 2 episodes.
Well, that's just the thing is I really enjoyed Game of Thrones. When it ended, it was time for it to end. Like I just never felt like I need a bunch of new seasons of that genre right now.
And then they halfway through this season, they aged a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And got new characters, but some of them the girl aged like 30 years.
I did hear that frustrated a lot of people, the jumping around between timelines and the aging and lack
aged,
of.
But the 2 boys, they aged like 3 years, and she aged like 20.
There were inconsistencies, I heard.
What are we doing? I thought that I was forced to watch it because my gal was invested in it, and once we watched something together, then I'm like, oh my God. But that show, that's just riding coattails.
So if you'd like to watch season 2 of The House of Dragon, it is on Max June 16th. The Targaryens are back.
And by the way, Deal does point out something. When they raided Trump's house, remember he had all those top secret documents in the bathroom? The rich don't always have their S together. And that's kind of what I'm saying. I think we assume that the rich's house is going to be all put together and tidy, and I don't think so. I think there's a lot of rich people that are slobs just like everyone else.
I also feel like when you're running criminal enterprises, like a lot of stuff is either kind of underground or hush-hush or put away. So having like a careful, organized system for it all probably isn't something that gets done a lot.
So yeah, like they always do that. I'm with you on the whole looking at houses things. Like I love the show Cribs, but I hate it because it's all staged. I want to see surprise celebrity cribs. If they
that would be fun.
You wanted the show that I think would be the best show on TV is you don't get to tell them when you're coming. They just show up like on a random Wednesday, whether you're there or not. And it's like, hey, we're looking at Taylor Swift's Rhode Island mansion with like, they just show up and knock on the door. And it's like, hey, we're in. And then we go through and look. That would be a great show.
Who was it? One of the original Cribs episodes, the star singer was drunk when they showed up to do the tour. It was like Mariah Carey or something like that. I'll figure this out, but it was pretty good and pretty obvious that she was not ready for that.
See, the best one that I remember was they did one for Redman from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Sure.
Yeah. That's Lil Jon.
Oh.
And I don't know if he was doing bits or not, but it was just like it wasn't a super nice house. He had a dude passed out on the floor in his sleeping bag. Some dude was just like living in his crashing, who was clearly just hammered. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about that. That's Steve." And like the doorbell didn't work. Like there was a bunch of exposed wiring. It was like a flop house. And again, I don't know if he was doing bits or if that was where he crashed, but it was freaking awesome. He's had a shoebox full of cash. Oh, man. And not like neatly stacked cash, just crumpled dollars, like 1s and 5s. It was the best episode of Cribs ever. Because you could tell he was just like, oh, this is where I'm hanging out. Oh, don't mind that, guys. Some dude passed out on the floor.
All right, we have a leftover from yesterday. Who's the a-hole in this scenario? We'll get to that next. But first, Buck with SportsCenter.
My father-in-law's penis lit up a room wherever he went.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this SportsCenter update. First on the Fan, a couple games going on in the NBA right now. The Milwaukee Bucks facing a LeBron-less Lakers squad. They're up 94-82 midway through the second quarter. And Dame Lillard for the Milwaukee squad has 17 on 6 of 18 shooting. Meanwhile, the Warriors up 96-82 on the Miami Heat with about 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And Oklahoma City and New Orleans about to reach the fourth quarter. OKC with a 13-point lead. Big news out of Washington today as Wazoo Athletic Director Pat Chun has agreed to be the new AD at the University of Washington. Chun served as the AD in Pullman for the last 6 years and was at Ohio State for 15 years before that. He will replace Troy Dannon, who left UW for Nebraska after just 6 months in Seattle. And we have one significant rule change in the NFL as the XFL-style kickoff format has been adopted. This should incentivize more kickoff returns in the game. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley from the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
More, please. Golf in the Northwest with Jason Swigart is back. Saturdays at 8 a.m. before the Sinner and the Saint.
Here has gone viral. It is from a Reddit post. Have you ever seen the "Am I the A-hole" posts
No,
that people do on there?
I can't say that I have. it's like you're putting out a situation there, and it's like,
Yeah.
hey, who's in the wrong?
Yeah, it could be a good bit for the show, really.
Sure.
Am I the a-hole?
Yeah.
You submit them on Twitter, we'll read them.
Absolutely.
Talk about them.
This happens in my life, I think, like once a week.
No kidding. You are the poster child for Am I the a-hole?
Yeah. I have a lot of that Larry David kind of, I don't know, sometimes I just need to learn to just keep my mouth shut.
So this post has gone viral with over 6,300 reactions, nearly 4,000 comments in a matter of hours on Sunday. A woman on Reddit asked other people for their help in solving a personal dilemma. She said, she titled her post, Am I the a-hole for rejecting the worst name ever for our offspring?
Okay.
She says, my husband is a 38-year-old male. I am a 36-year-old female. We are expecting our first child, a bouncing baby girl, due in a few months.
All right.
We were both over the moon when we found out the gender, but now things have gotten complicated, to say the least. She said that when we first started talking about names, the boy name was immediately decided, Stuart Jr., that is his name. He loved that. No problems there, she says. But for a girl, things got a little murky. She added, my husband suggested Stuarta.
What?
Yes, just Stuart with an A on the end of it.
Stuarta?
I mean, I guess that's how you pronounce it. I don't know.
Sounds like a herpes medication. Take twice daily Stuarta to combat your genital herpes tomorrow. What? It's a terrible name.
It is, but she says, I tried explaining that doesn't quite work, how it sounds more like a furniture brand than a human name, how she'd be endlessly correcting people and explaining its origin, but she said her husband is adamant, insisting that the name would honor him while giving our daughter a unique name.
By the way, what kind of douchebag do you have to be where you insist on honoring yourself?
I know. She said she's tried including feminine names that maybe share a similar sound or meaning to Stuart, names he's mentioned liking in the past, or even just going back to the drawing board entirely, but no luck. He is fixated, she wrote. The woman added, I love my husband dearly and I understand wanting to honor family, but I can't imagine subjecting our daughter to a lifetime of awkward stares and endless questions about her unusual name.
No, it's ridiculous.
She said as well, I also worry about potential bullying and the impact it could have on her self-esteem. She asked others on the platform, am I the jerk for refusing to budge? Is there any compromise I haven't considered? Help a soon-to-be mama out.
First off, he's an ass. He needs to get over himself. And in every relationship, when you're naming anything, there's always veto power on both sides. It does no good to come up with something that one person hates.
Well, I've always kind of thought that mama held most of the cards in that.
Yeah.
Don't you think? I mean, like, mom gets final say.
She is pushing it out.
I mean, like, she's the...
But I would say either way, like, in what world, when you're having a baby with someone, and one person is adamant that they absolutely hate that name, do you just insist on pushing it through, especially when it's something stupid because you, quote, need to honor yourself?
Well, that's what he wants.
Well, then what you should do, if you're that much of an ass, and you are, is make it the middle name. What is it, Stuarina or whatever?
Stuarta?
Stuarta. God, I can't get over how stupid
that is pretty ridiculous.
We went through this, my wife and I went through, not something that ridiculous, but through that a lot with naming our last kid. There are a bunch of names that both of us liked both times through, and the other one's like, that's just not going to work for me, and you just have to pass on it. That's how it goes.
What about, what if you wanted to name one of your kids Jasona? Jasona.
You should punch me right in the balls.
You could call her Jazzy.
Just, again, move it to the middle name, come up with a real first name, and then there you go. But I got a real good idea of what this dude's about. Something tells me that he really is into WWE wrestling and likes high school sports an awful lot. And if you question...
What are you talking about? High school sports?
Yeah, this guy right here.
What does that have to do with Stuarta?
That's Stuarta. Stu here... Again, he's a big fan of The Rock.
You're thinking he might be one of these kind of guys?
Yeah. Oh, this is his favorite song. Hands down.
No.
Loves Boys to Fall.
No.
And when you question him about his high school, he's like, check the tape, man. Dude, I rocked. What are you talking about? Check the tape. That's that guy. No one else would be that obsessed with honoring yourself with a female. Now, again, if it was a boy, oh, for God's sakes. I hate the Red Wings so much.
I do too.
They are going to absolutely tank this.
God dang, what do you think?
Playoffs. Sorry, they just lost. and now are not in the playoffs. Yeah, if you had a boy, that's one thing. You know, you give on that. Like, my name's Stuart, make it Stuart. But come on.
All right, so he's the a-hole.
He's not just an a-hole.
Oh, he for sure is.
I'm not even saying it's just he's a douche. I'd rather be an a-hole than a douche, and he's just being a douche. And not just a regular douche either, a full-on, like, douche canoe mega douche.
Now, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to get the story, but a friend of mine's mother, her first name is Kevin. And I think it's because it was a family name. And now she hasn't gone by Kevin her entire life, but it's like Kevin, and then it's like a female name after that. So her actual first name is Kevin.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah.
Here's somebody who says, I knew someone that had a family member seriously considering Waltruff for a girl. Mixture of Walter and Adolf?
What?
Oh, my God.
Wait. Why would you want that second name in there? Is that a family name?
Head coach?
God. What?
Jeez. Waldriff?
Well,
Waldrolf? Waldrolf? What is it?
Waltroff?
Waltroff?
Waltroff. That's what he says.
Man.
Walter and Adolf.
Not only is it a terrible combination, it sounds terrible too. It
really
sounds like you've got a
does.
mouthful of graham crackers. Waltroff?
Look, and I'm all for unique kid names, but criminy sakes, people. Some common sense play into this at all? Just a scooch? Which, again, goes to my platform of when you turn 18, your name should, everyone, when you turn 18, you should have to legally file for a name change. And if you want to keep your name, you file it, and you're like, nope, that's my name. But when you turn 18, everyone gets an opportunity. Just be like, nope, one time.
Why do you think that?
Because that way we don't end up with a what the hell was I can't Waltriff.
We don't end up Thunderdome, dude.
Yeah, it is Thunderdome. When 18, it is unfair to saddle a kid with Strata and Waltriff or whatever the hell that thing is. It's unfair. It's unfair. When you turn 18, if you love your name, cool. Then you just file that. You're like, nope, no change necessary. But it's like that whole selective service thing. On your 18th birthday, the government sends you a thing, and it's like, hey, man, this is a get out of jail free card. No hassle, no nothing. We're going to issue you a Social Security card. Everything changes over. Pick your name.
Overall, I really like the idea, but do you have any idea how many dumb 18-year-old kids go out and on the first day they turn 18 get a tattoo they regret for the rest of their lives?
Sure. It's better than this.
Meta world peace, man.
It's better than letting two jackass parents come up with the worst name imaginable. What if your kid,
at least it's your choice.
Well, you named your kid Maze, right?
Maze, yeah.
Yeah. And I've got Iserman. So, I mean, look, we both have some sports thing or whatever. I named my kid Eisman. What if he grows up to think, like, what if he met Steve Eisman when he was 12, and Steve Eisman was he was Will Clark. He was just a giant asshat. And now, like, hey, thanks for that. Or turns out that Willie Mays is a Bill Cosby sort of guy.
Sure.
The kid turns 18. Hey, no fuss, you go with your own.
Fair enough.
And then if you make a dumb decision, at least it's the kid's own.
At least that's on you.
It's on you.
Well, I mean, you can change your name.
Yeah, but it's a pain in the ass. That's why it's streamlining it. How many people do it? We make it a
Ocho Cinco, baby.
We make it a seamless process.
Here's a guy who says, apologies to all the Stewarts out there, but Stewart is already a stupid name. Trying to make it a girl's name is absolutely absurd.
Well, look, it's not the best name out there.
Well, I think Stu is a cool name, but that can easily become Stoosh.
Yeah. But Stewart?
That's okay. Yeah, Stewart's it's kind of pretentious.
Well, it's a little bit like, okay, Stewart. It's got a Karen feel to it. It's like naming your kid Chad.
All right, we're back to wrap it up after this on The Fan.
The home of Dirt and Spray.